Good morning, friends. Oh my goodness. As you can tell, it's a little chilly. It's good to see you guys. Dina, have a safe flight. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you. Yeah, so we've got this competency hearing for Brian Walshe. And we're just waiting for them to log on here. I don't want the chat. Get the fuck out of here. So we'll just wait for that to come on here. So basically what we've got going on here, and I don't really expect a whole lot of people to be in here because the amazing Melanie Little is live right now. And she's been covering this. I just wanted to watch it and I thought, why not stream it? Okay, why not? So here we are. Oh, the menopause chat and Jess Machado's stream was just amazing. Finally, I felt like I was understood. Oh man, it's just so good to connect with my sisters finally about such a taboo subject. It shouldn't be so taboo. We should talk about these things. We should talk about them openly. No, yeah, so I appreciate my McLeans being here. Like I said, man, I mean, if you want like all the juicy details as far as all this goes, all the legal mumbo jumbo, then you're gonna go watch Melanie Little, man, of course. But like I said, I'm just interested in watching this shit, and I figured why not stream it? Fuck it. So here we are. So yeah, if you're sitting there going, Glare, you got Crawford numbers going on right now. I know. Anybody who goes up against Melanie Little right now is going to have Crawford numbers. It's just how that is. I knew that going into it. I knew it when I set up the fucking live yesterday. Basically, Brian Walshe, I'm of the opinion that Brian Walshe could absolutely walk. I don't think, I think the judge is going to find him competent to stand trial. I think that's going to happen. But I think I think with all of the infection that Michael Proctor touches, everything he touches, he infects, and he touched this case, and this case is not going to be. I feel like we're going to feel the residual Proctor effects in this case. And a guy who I am totally convinced absolutely murdered his wife and mutilated her body, dismembered her. I absolutely believe that that this man is guilty. And yeah. Dina, for your pain and suffering today about thank you, Dina. Appreciate it. But we should do a song. Yeah, we should do we got time.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Thank you, Dina. Fly safe, please. And when I say fly safe, I mean drag the captain out of his fucking seat and be like, I got this. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that, Dina. Don't do that. Yeah, and I like when the chat's small too, because I could pay more attention to it. But everyone's still talking about menopause. Okay. Yeah, so and yeah, uh what is that's just stupid. That's just a stupid comment right there. That's just dumb. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I've been saying this shit. Like, remember when the warrant, as a matter of fact, I remember going over that with Melanie Little, when the warrant application first, when Proctor first, well, when it was first released, his application for a warrant for Brian Walsh's shit. We were like, oh, look at this. That this dude we know that this dude knows how to conduct an investigation. Like, this is proof that this is how we know that this is how he conducted an investigation, that he knows how. So, like, what's this guy's what's the overall plan here? What's the overall plan here? I mean, because what's going to end up happening is uh anybody who touched the Karen Reed case is going to lack credibility. Any decent defense attorney, which I would assume Brian Walsh has at least a decent defense attorney, um you know, if that's the case, well then, yeah. He's going to argue, he or she's going to argue that uh that there's allegations of corruption, that there's allegations that the lead investigator in the case was the person who even applied for the warrant has been fired from the Massachusetts State Police for misconduct. I mean, all of these things are going to come to light, and it's just going to make Brian Walsh's case fall apart, or the case against Brian Walsh fall apart. %, Dina. 100%. Right. Any defense attorney is just gonna like play that card. Why wouldn't they? Sorry, I'm looking to see if there's any other um Brother Counsel's gonna go over this at 11. And uh what's her name? Hold on. I feel like such a dick because I'm forgetting her name, because I know she's more on TikTok, and she killed it at the Wilbur too, and I can't remember her name. Emily C is her name. Emily C. She's going live. Well, I don't know why I had a brain fart. It's too early. I kind of miss these early morning streams. Uh Emily C is going to be going live with, I think, with fuck. Loophole Lawyer at 11. Oh, so it starts at 11? The Brian Walshe hearing starts at 11 now? Oh, my God. Sorry, I'm just looking for other stuff to just kind of go over in the meantime, because we might as well just hang out. I'm all set up and I'm live. Might as well just kick it. Let's just go over Vinny's video on this real quick. IHOP. I wish I had some IHOP right now.
Are simply that, opinions. All are presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Sensitive topics are discussed. Discretion is advised.
I'm Vinny Politan. The subject of my investigation is the disappearance of Anna Walshe, the mother of 3 young boys. Investigators have not found her, but they believe they know what happened and who is responsible.
Yeah, Jess Machado kept saying that. She kept saying spa day. You know, like I feel like she was starting a word and not finishing it. Like she wanted to say spaghetti day because that's what makes sense to me. Like, why not? So she was having a spaghetti day, but she wasn't talking about any spaghetti. So I don't understand. She was talking about massages and shit. So I feel like, I mean, it makes no sense that she would start the word and then not finish the word spaghetti. She just kept saying part of the word spa day instead of spaghetti day. It's weird.
Here's the story. Anna Walshe was born in Serbia in 1983. After graduating from a university in Belgrade, she eventually moved to the United States in 2005. She became a dual citizen. Anna worked in the hospitality industry at various hotels, and it was at one of those hotels where she met Brian Walshe. In 2016, Brian and Anna got married and started a family. Together, they were raising 3 young boys. In 2022, Anna obtained a position with a real estate company which forced her to split time between her home with her family in Massachusetts and Washington, D.C. This move, along with Brian's federal indictment related to an art scam, put a lot of strain on their relationship. Then, after spending New Year's having dinner with friends, Anna seemingly vanished. She was reported missing by her employer in D.C. and by Brian on January 4th. Investigators suspected Brian and ended up executing a search warrant which uncovered evidence they believe proves Brian murdered and dismembered Anna, despite the fact that her remains have never been found. Brian has been charged with Anna's murder and is locked up waiting for his trial. Think about this story and Anna Walshe, 3 young kids at home. Where did she go? You know, we've seen this fact pattern, unfortunately, several times before through the years here at Court TV. A couple with young children, and all of a sudden, someone goes missing. Usually it's the wife, the mom. So why Why do prosecutors believe that Brian Walshe could do this? Well, I want you to take a listen to the prosecutor at Brian Walsh's arraignment talking about...
You see how dramatic these fucking true crime bullshit people are sometimes, man? Like, it's like a lot of times it's the mom or the wife that goes missing. Well, yeah, chances are if a woman goes missing, she's a wife or a mom. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't necessarily, like, when you word it like that, it automatically is like implies that the husband did something. And it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous to do that because it just gets people immediately being like, oh, he did it, you know, and it's just like, what the fuck? The person, like, is, if that person's innocent, that person's grieving and more worried than anybody about this person, and you're making it way worse by like accusing them of some shit. It's terrible.
Brian and Anna and what was going through the mind of the accused killer.
In December of 2022, it had become evident that Mr. Walshe was suspecting his wife of having an affair. He was routinely visiting the Instagram page of one of her male friends, and on December 26th, his mother, with his input and direction, obtained and hired a private investigator to surveil Anna Walshe in Washington, D.C. On December 27th...
Already I'm getting Ed Gein vibes. Already. Mother, I believe that Anna is being unfaithful. Mother. Well, darling, don't you worry. You know what we're going to do? We're going to hire a snoop. And we're going to get to the bottom of this because I'm going to prove that Jezebel's no good for you. I told you. Brian.
The oldest son's iPad was used to research best states to get divorced in and worst states to get divorced in.
A private investigator suspected that something was happening here. That brings us to our first question in this investigation, and it's about the Walshes. What was going on in their relationship? And how would that be connected to any potential motive for murder? Joining me to help figure all this out, longtime reporter in Massachusetts at Boston 25 News, Bob Ward is with us, and the host of Talking Live and the Bite Size Podcast, a psychotherapist who wrote a book on killer spouses, Dr. Ravi Ludwig. Great to have you both here. Before we dive fully into this, I just want to put one more thing out there. And this was the paramour, the alleged man that Anna was seeing, speaking with police. And this is January 7th, 2023. So it's about a week into the investigation. And you may recognize this name, Sergeant Y. Buchanan, which is Yuri Buchanan from the Karen Reed case. Ooh. And Detective Lopes traveled to Washington, D.C.
I think you mean Bukkake, Vinny.
Spoke with attorneys that represent, and we've redacted the name of the alleged paramour, who resides in D.C. and is the most frequent contact with Anna on cell phone records in possession of investigators. So they're talking a lot on the phone. Statements to investigators is that he was in a dating relationship with Anna Walshe and had been for several months. The relationship became more serious over the past few months, and they had spent Thanksgiving together in Dublin and spent Christmas Eve together also. They were open about the relationship in Washington, D.C., and they had plans to celebrate the new year on January 4th, 2022, after she returned from Massachusetts. Okay, Bob Ward, it seems that this was a strained relationship, and couple things in play, right? The fact she's got this new job out of town, and he's got this indictment.
Yeah, the indictment, you can't overstate that enough, as being a major role here in what was driving that wedge between them. He had the indictment for selling, a federal indictment for selling fake Andy Warhol prints. he was looking at serious jail time, substantial fines. You know,
There's your motive right there, dude. Like, stop with the whole, oh, I think she was cheating on me, so I fucking killed her. No, man. He was about to face jail for fraud, and she could fucking testify against him and probably threatened that she would. Who knows what the fuck was going on in their relationship? She seems like a nice person. He seems like a douchebag. And chances are she was like, you're a piece of shit. I know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't fucking leave me alone and let me do my fucking job that I got out of town, then I'm going to fucking out you. And then he was like, okay, well, now I need to cut her all up and fucking make sure she never sees the light of day again.
Back even further than that, he also had issues with his father who passed away and issues over his will. And it just financially, he presented as somebody other than who he was. So he presented as somebody who was well off and connected when really he was just scrounging for money. This is according to the prosecution. And he was...
That was the same shit with Alec Murdoch. That's the same shit with Alec Murdoch, dude. Like... we're going to fucking sit here. We're going to scrounge. Like, I'm going to keep this image of being, you know, rich and all this shit. And then I'm going to, and behind the scenes, under everyone's nose, without them knowing, I'm going to be trying to hustle money here and there, use this money to cover this money, and then use that money to cover that money, because I'm in the hole for fucking hundreds of thousands of probably $1 million. Who knows?
He was putting up this false front, and he could not afford the lifestyle that he tried to portray himself as having. But there was even trouble before that. Vinny, back in 2014, while they were still dating, she told police down in D.C. that he threatened to kill her and all of her friends, but she stayed with this guy. And, you know, that relationship may have been open down in D.C., but it certainly was not up here in Massachusetts, where he was on house arrest, waiting sentencing for that federal case. And in December of 2022, he caught wind of what was really going on, and that sent all these events in motion.
All right, Dr. Robbie Ludwig, let's talk about this and how it could be connected to a potential motive. What goes through the minds of a spouse, of a husband, of a father?
I mean, not trying to sound like a victim blamer, because I'm not victim blaming at all, but I do have to question what was going through Anna Walsh's mind when she hooked up with this dude, because the dude, now maybe it's you know, chicken or the egg kind of thing, I don't know, but I look at the guy, maybe it's because I know he's being accused of the crazy shit that he did and he looks fucking crazy to me, or maybe he just looks fucking crazy to me, you know, and then I'm just not surprised that he's being accused of the things that he's being accused of. Like, I look at the guy and I'm just like, yeah. Like, I'm not even trying to lie. Like, I'm just like, right. I mean, or she thought he was rich. Yeah, that's it. I mean, again, people, you know, I don't know anything about Anna Walsh. We're just speculating here. But that's a plausible theory, you know, considering what little we know. I mean, that's a plausible theory. Maybe she, you know, found some security. She needed some financial security and she found that with him. No judgment. You know, maybe they had an understanding. Maybe that's what she saw in him. Maybe that's all she saw in him. Maybe that's all she was interested in. And, you know, again, people, these are not rock stars. These are not celebrities, these victims. They're normal people who ended up in fucked up situations. And, you know, it's quite plausible that Anna Walsh was a flawed human being who married somebody for their money. Married somebody because she thought she'd get financial security. That's quite possible. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying it's irresponsible to dismiss that possibility simply because she's no longer with us.
on the one hand, he's facing federal prison time. On the other hand, his wife is doing very well in her career and seems to be creating a new life for herself in Washington, D.C.
Well, clearly Brian was a person who did not feel good about himself, had a very abusive history, and felt like who he was not good enough. So he meets this woman, he convinces her that he's the successful guy, and over time, his wife finds out who he really is. Somebody who is not wealthy, not successful, and has a hard time actually making a legitimate living, and she finds somebody else. And what we know about abusive relationships, when a woman plans,
yeah, I mean that fucking tracks, dude. That fucking tracks. She met somebody else. She was like, this dude ain't shit. Met somebody else, took a job where this dude lives, probably. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing. But is like, this dude ain't shit. I'm done. Like, I'm done with this dude. Like, he ain't shit. I'm out of here. Like, I found a real man, and this is not, Three kids. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, what a bummer.
To leave, that it triggers something within the husband where a husband can become homicidal. They're dependent on the wife, but they don't want that wife to live if they are not going to choose them. And it sounds like that's what happened here. The wife was moving on. He knew it. He knew his life was falling apart. And this is what he did in order to both punish her, most likely, allegedly, and also to get some money, which he was in desperate need of.
So he had her
put this up on the screen as well.
Did he have a life insurance policy on her? Like, if he had a life insurance policy on her, why the fuck would he cut her up? You know what I mean? Like, and if you need money now, because the thing is if she just goes missing, then it's going to take forever before she's even declared dead. And I mean, and there's a risk there's not even going to be a payout. But that payout, if it were to take place, would take forever. What's this guy's plan?
Anna's good friend also spoke with police. Here's from the report. Investigators spoke with Anna's friend, name redacted, and learned that the marriage between Anna and Brian was strained. Anna was planning on having the kids live with her in Washington, D.C. Anna had reportedly given some sort of ultimatum to Brian about the resolution of his criminal case with the...
Yeah, and maybe because that lady who was just talking just said something about him getting money when she's dead. So, like, but at the same time, you know how we feel about these panelists on Court TV. Like, they never know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, they know what they're talking about generally, but they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to the case that they're there to discuss. They don't do any research on these cases, ever.
Federal government and wanted the kids to be with her. When investigators viewed Anna's residence in Washington, D.C., they observed it to be ready for the kids to move there with clothes and other items available. So, Dr. Robbie, it seems like this is exactly what you're talking about. This is the moment where she has made all the preparations to leave him, physically go to another state and relocate the children with her and start some sort of a new life without him, because on the one hand, he's going to prison for the scam that he was running. And on the other hand, she doesn't want to be with him anymore.
Right, and exactly. And this is the moment where, in Brian's mind, Anna is bad. She is the rejecting woman who is leaving him, who is plotting and finding a way to have a new family without him. He is being left. And that is just unacceptable. And the rage that he feels for Anna treating him the way he feels that he really is, this worthless guy who isn't worthy of a relationship. So instead of taking responsibility and owning that, he kills the woman who has found him out to be you know, a loser basically, and has chosen another man and chosen, you know, to raise his family with somebody else. That was just an unacceptable scenario in his mind.
And Bob, you look at the scenario. I mean, it seems like she had already moved on in her mind, right?
I mean, it's clear, dude. Like, yeah, he couldn't face the fact that he's a fucking loser and decided to like kill her. Like, felt entitled to be able to get some sort of retribution for his fucking failure in life.
Like she's out of there.
Yeah, it does look like she was out of there. She was making her plans. She had a new place to live. She had a new guy to spend her life with. She knew she was going to take the kids somewhere else. But I think there's also evidence that Brian was not aware of this, you know, and
let's just be honest, dude. If this guy's capable of fucking murdering her and cutting her up, there had to have been signs. I guarantee you she didn't leave him just because he was a fucking loser. I guarantee you she didn't leave him just because she found somebody else. I bet you anything that she fucking saw signs that this guy was a fucking psycho and was like, I'm taking my kids and I'm getting the fuck out of here. This guy's nuts. You know, like, who the fuck knows what this guy, I mean, and probably like blaming the rest of the world, everything, all of his scamming and all of that shit. I imagine the bedroom conversations, the arguments where he's blaming the rest of the world for his shit, for his fuck ups, and saying it's their fault. It's their fault. They're coming after me. They're trying to attack me. They're trying to get me, you know, and she's just like, fuck this, dude. I'm done with this fool.
Days before the murder took place, he starts Googling those questions about divorce. But what I'm thinking about is, what I always have a hard time wrapping my head around, is that party, that New Year's Eve party. The police found in the dining room, they found a box for a champagne bottle, where Anna wrote a message to Brian and said, "This year is going to be our greatest year." So, word to that effect. I love you. Everything's going to be great in the new year. Let's make things better. So she had not had that, I don't think, had that conversation with him that she was going to leave. So, you know, it's,
fucking
you know,
bitty,
you kind of wonder. Was getting things ready, but there was no date for sentencing yet. In fact, he was only sentenced this year, and he got 3 years. He has to pay, I think, $475,000 in restitution. So there was still time. So it's going to be interesting when this trial takes place to find out what that dynamic was, what happened at that New Year's Eve party in the hours before she disappeared.
Absolutely crucial. All right, folks.
I just want to say that
we're out of time, Dr.
knew.
Robbie. He knew. He knew.
He knew.
Shut up, lady.
At the sense that he knows. All right, Dr. Robbie, thanks so much. Bob's going to stay with us. Coming up next, what are the details behind Walshe's art scam?
The Court TV podcast will return.
In 2001, Anna Walshe had taken out approximately $2.2 million in life insurance on herself, where Brian Walshe is the sole beneficiary.
Okay.
And as a result of working at Tishman Speyer, she has an additional more than $400,000 life insurance policy.
So there is a life insurance policy
where he was the sole beneficiary. In total, her life insurance is over $2.7 million, where the defendant was the sole beneficiary. Your Honor, as a result of the extensive investigation that was done into this case, the defendant's grave incentive to flee of being charged with murder, and that he has one open matter, I would ask that the defendant be held without bail.
So being held without bail, you know, he had the issues here, obviously, with what happened to his wife, Anna, but also another outstanding matter. This was the matter involving this alleged art scam that he was running.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. This is from...
This dude had every fucking reason to bolt. You do not give a guy like that bail. That guy had every reason to bolt.
The U.S. attorney up in Massachusetts, February 24th, 2024, a Lynn man, that's Brian Walshe, was sentenced today in connection with a years-long, multifaceted art fraud scheme involving 2 purported Andy Warhol paintings. Brian Walshe sentenced to 37 months in prison, 3 years of supervised release, also ordered to pay restitution of $475,000. In 2021, he pleaded guilty to 1 count each of wire fraud, interstate transportation.
Dude, what a bitch. Like, I already know what this guy's mindset was. Like, this guy was like, oh, well, I'm going to prison. My life is over. Poor me, poor me. But I'll be goddamned if my wife is going to be out there banging some other dude while my life is over. So I might as well just throw the rest of my whole life away and kill her. And then, you know, and just wallow in my whole life being thrown away. Bullshit. Like, this is like, at the end of the day, this guy killed his wife to feel sorry for himself. Like, that's what happened. That's how pathetic this fucking douchebag is. This guy, like, just destroyed his family's lives because he was having a fucking temper tantrum, because he was having a fucking a self meltdown. Unreal.
Scheme to defraud unlawful monetary transaction. So that brings us to the next question in our investigation, which is about him and his scam. What are the details behind Walsh's art scam? What was he doing here? Still with me, reporter from Boston 25 News, Bob.
I'm trying to tell you, welcome to Derry. It's pretty fucking good. Like, I've been watching a few scary movies lately. Let me tell you something real quick, because we got time. We got time, and, you know, we're just kicking it. Let me tell you something real quick. I watched this movie with Dave Franco called Together, and it is the biggest steaming pile of stinky shit that I have ever watched in my life. It is probably the worst movie I've ever seen. Probably the worst movie I've ever seen. I was angry about how bad that movie was, that I wasted my time, because it got like all these good reviews. Like, I don't listen to reviews anymore. Like, I'm just not doing that anymore. I'm done with that. Everybody's fucking doing reviews, you know, like, it's the internet now. It's not the same thing. And I got to tell you, yeah, the Derry Show is Welcome to Derry, which is a prequel to It, and it's on HBO Max or HBO. But it's a prequel to the It thing. And it's really good so far. Like, it's really fucked up. I'm really enjoying it. But that Together movie, oh my God. Terrible. And then there's that movie Weapons. I watched that, and that was like, I think I'm just over horror movies, man. But Welcome to Derry is pretty good so far. So far, it's definitely got my attention. So, yeah. Everyone should do that at least once in their life. Everyone should watch The Godfather back to back in one sitting. Like, make a day out of it. Absolutely. They should do that at least once in their life. I also think that every male should have one day where they watch Rocky 1 through 4. Rocky 1 through 4 is a must sit down and watch all day. Every male should do that. Well, I mean, Stephen King, man. The Shining, there was that naked lady who got out of the bathtub. That lady was awesome. Oh my God.
Bob Ward, and joining me, Massachusetts trial attorney, served as special counsel to Johnny Depp in his defamation case. Wayne Dennison is with us. Okay. I don't know where you guys go to buy your art, but this is some art that was apparently purchased through eBay, but it was Warhol's. I want to put them up on the screen so people know what we're talking about. One's real, one's not. We have two different ones to show you. Let's take a look at the first one. The one on the left, not real. The one on the right, real. So you got the fake on the left, the real on the right. We have one more that I want to show.
Look at that shit, dude. Well, look, I've got this brand new Andy Warhol painting. It's brand new. What is this guy trying to pull?
Show you. The fake on the left, the real on the right. These are, well, one of them in each set is an actual Warhol. The other is what this defendant was apparently selling. Wayne, let me start with you before I get into the details of exactly what he went through and did here. How serious of a case is this? Because this seemed to be a big...
I'm enjoying that too, Team Brittany. I am enjoying that. I'm enjoying the Murdoch thing on Hulu. It's really dramatic. It's really dramatic, but it's like, it's crazy. Like these days, man, you stick Patricia Arquette as like the lead female role in these true crime recreation movies, little mini series, you can't lose. She's killing it. Like Patricia Arquette is like right now, I think at the peak of her career. You know, I think she's doing amazing because those fucking things pay a lot of money, dude. You know what I mean? She's got steady work and she's been like killing these roles. Like she's been doing really, really good. They're bringing it back. It's official. They're renewing the show for a third season. And I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, the COVID thing happened, and then there was just no money to do the third season. And then so they stopped it. And I mean, I thought Mindhunter was arguably like the best Netflix show like ever. And I was so mad when they dropped it. But yeah, the COVID thing happened, and then David Fincher, the creator of the show, you'll know him from he directed Fight Club, Seven, Zodiac. Fincher's just great. And he created the Mindhunter show, and he was like, there's just no more money. The studio just wouldn't put up any more money for it, or something like that. And so now apparently, I guess there's such a demand for it that they found the budget for it, and they're gonna do a third season, which I love. I love that show so much. The way that they depicted Edmund Kemper was just brilliant. Just brilliant. It made me actually listen to the Mindhunter audiobook. Very different, by the way. But I ended up at the gym listening to the Mindhunter audiobook. Fascinating. I recommend it, but very different from the show.
Black cloud hanging over his head, and the marriage with Anna.
It's a very serious case, and it's been pending as a black cloud for a very long time. This goes back to 2011, where he got the paintings, the original paintings, allegedly from a friend, But this thing has been going.
Yeah, the dude, I forget his name already, but the guy who the guy who wrote the book Mindhunter, that dude is arrogant as fuck, which I love. I'm a big fan of that. Like, the guy really pretty much just totally revolutionized criminal profiling. Like, he like basically invented it and just revolutionized how to catch serial killers. So like, he was so, yeah, and he knows it. So he's like super arrogant about it. And like, it's in the book. Like, you can just tell that he's you can tell that he totally knows exactly what he's done.
Going on and on and on and on. You're talking about a sale that was made in 2016. We're all the way to 2023 before he gets sentenced.
It's fascinating to go through what he did. And this is what he did. 2011, as Wayne said, he's visiting a friend in South Korea, and he convinces him that he could take a couple of his Shadows collection from Warhol's 1978 paintings, telling the victim he could sell the art for a good price. Then the victim comes across two paintings purported to be from this collection on eBay for $100,000 with a purchase price, and he's got an invoice for it because he got the invoice from his friend. Then in November of 2016, the buyer negotiates with Walshe and buys them outside of eBay for $80,000.
Wow.
But then the buyer's assistant flies up to Boston to get the paintings, gives a cashier's check to Walshe. He deposits it, takes money out, but then the buyer, a day later, takes a look at the actual paintings when they come back and realizes that they have staples and new canvases and don't have the authentication stamps. Walshe sort of...
he threw that shit together like a crackhead, dude. He's like, let me just staple this shit. Like, brand new canvas. What are you, dude? What are you doing? Like, that is crazy. How are you going to put all that effort into forging the paintings and then just throw it together like a fucking crackhead? That is wild, dude.
Avoids the guy, and it turns out that the original paintings were sold way back in 2011, and he had done the same scam in 2015. Bob Ward, how is this guy just running scams? Is that his career? Is he like a career scammer? Did he have any legitimate job?
It doesn't appear that he did, or if he did, he wasn't making much money from the jobs. You know, I've met over the last couple of years since this news broke, I've talked to plenty of people who told me they knew Brian Walshe, and they spent time with him, and they said that they were taken in by him. He was very gregarious, and he passed himself off as being a very wealthy man, and they totally bought it. We're talking about intelligent people just talking about their interactions with the guy. The thing that blows me away, Vinny, is that you got $100,000, tens of thousands of dollars people are spending, and they're not verifying these things ahead of time. You know, it really is surprising. But he's in that world, and he was in the world.
I'm not buying fucking Warhol paintings off of fucking eBay, dude. Like, I mean, let's just be honest here. The victims of his fraud are fucking retarded, dude. Let's just be honest. I mean, it's fine. And I'm not saying, you know, that they deserve it. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they got because they're fucking retarded. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not buying a fucking, dude. If I'm an art collector, dude, I'm not buying a fucking, and these are not art collectors. These are guys who are like, oh, I watch and listen to Gary V. So, oh my God, there's going to be a treasure on eBay that I'm going to find. And then I'm going to fucking I'm going to flip it and make all kinds of money. And then it's like, no, dude, like, you're not going to find a fucking Warhol painting on eBay, dude. You're not. Like, you might find like a fucking Babe Ruth baseball card, you know, somebody who's just like, I don't know, you know, but the chances of that are so slim. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking Gary V. Gary V's my fucking spirit animal, bro. I love Gary V. What I'm saying though is that there's so many fucking retarded people on the internet that you're just like, how did you not, what in God's name would possess you to think that you could buy at a discount a fucking Andy Warhol painting on eBay and it's going to be legit? That's crazy. You got to be stupid.
You know, here in Boston, you know, Beacon Hill, and rubbing shoulders with some very powerful people from time to time within various industries up here. And so he knew how to move in that world, and he knew how to present himself. But he was a fraud, an absolute fraud.
And you know, Wayne, when you're in trouble with the feds already, you've got all these other things happening, you realize you got away with the scam for a while, but not forever. What are your thoughts about, you know, the fact
the first name, it may not be your he may not be your favorite, but the first fucking name that comes to your mind when someone mentions modern art, it's fucking Andy Warhol. That's what comes to mind. Andy Warhol. You know what I mean? It's the first fucking, it's like the Beatles, dude. It's the first fucking thing that comes to your mind. You know?
he was already, you know, on house arrest when all this stuff is happening? Like, are you shocked? Are you surprised that he's allegedly made the leap from being a scammer to a killer?
Well, it does seem that this was financially motivated. So you start with a scammer who's trying to make a buck on the side, you know, lives in a very...
I mean, look at the guy's MO, dude. His entire MO revolves around money. That's just it, dude.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Oh, wow. Here we go. Now we're talking. Jen Dalgau says, I'm a serial killer. I eat 2 boxes of Lucky Charms at a time. Holy. Oh. No. No, Jen Dalgos. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm not done with you yet, Jen Dalgos. I am a serial killer as well in that sense.
Affluent south of Boston suburb right along the water. And you start with that, and now there's $2.7 million in life insurance out there. It does seem to be the next leap, and boy, it's a horrible leap.
Yeah, this guy's entire MO revolves around money. What he's already being accused of is money motivated. Everything is money motivated here. And like, he might have killed his wife out of just being completely fucking psycho, because clearly, but I bet you anything he rationalized it in his mind, like somehow, like, oh, well, I'm going to get something out of it. That's how fucking nuts this guy is. That's what I think anyway.
But it appears that he took it.
And, you know, Bob, when we talk about this couple, Anna, very successful in her own right, like very, very successful in her own right, building a career, coming to this country from Serbia and building a great life. And I wonder if she felt like she had gotten scammed as well by the art scammer.
It does appear that way. And also, don't forget this other issue with his father and the inheritance, and the allegation that he basically stole his dead father's house out from underneath the estate. And that's part of all this too. His dead.
Ms. V USMC, thank you so much. Lucky Charm sucks balls. Yuck. Nah, man. I gotta disagree with you on that. Thank you. And I probably won't use your $10 super chat to buy Lucky Charms, but I do enjoy Lucky Charms. I like the marshmallows. I like that they're not too sweet, you know. Dude, what is going on here? Let me see. We got nothing better to do. Why not? I know you hate me. Hello, Glare. Did you really steal that dog? Follows crack addicts, like as in addicts, as in Plevin. Or Barami says you did say the dog park, and he said he talked to the dog. Can you convince me why you are loved? I just as I don't know what any of that means.
Dad had money, and he wrote off his son because he felt his own son was a scam artist. So there's all of that swirling around. You know, they're saying that this trial may last about a month, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes longer because there's a lot here for prosecutors to dig their teeth into when they start presenting these facts.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Wayne, about any of this scam stuff making its way into his murder trial?
Well, I think you're going to have to prove a motive, and this scam stuff will be reflective of that motive. And I do think it will get heard in the murder trial. There's in every likelihood, you're going to hear that story as the precipitating factor in this ultimate crime.
Yeah, it's unreal. Like you're living a fake life. You end up with
You're living a fake life.
I'm retarded?
a beautiful wife who's very successful. You got 3 beautiful kids. From the outside looking in, you're living the dream, but it was all fake. All fake. All right, folks, coming up next.
All fake.
What is the evidence against Brian Walshe?
This is the fun part. You saw how you just enjoyed the camera looking at him? Watch this right here. Oh, all that?
Brian Walshe.
Watch him.
Walshe.
Look at that. He's the camera.
This is the Court TV podcast.
I'm Vinny Politan. We continue our investigation of the disappearance of Anna Walshe, a mother of 3 little boys. Anna was born in Serbia, but became a dual citizen, living the American dream with a beautiful family and an amazing career. All that ended after New Year's in 2023. Here's the story.
They don't know it, but he Googled it. He Googled like how to do it. So
story.
It's a pretty safe assumption.
Brian Walshe seemed like he was a wealthy, successful businessman until he got caught up in a major art scam. The feds indicted him on charges of selling fake Warhol paintings. At the same time this was happening, his wife Anna was doing extremely well at work. She landed a lucrative position with a realty company that had her splitting time between her home with Brian and their 3 boys in Massachusetts and Washington, D.C.
Yeah, she's way out of his league.
Where her employer was. The federal indictment and the commuting to work put a strain on their relationship. Then things went really bad when Anna seemingly vanished after New Year's Eve with friends in 2022 going into 2023. The investigation resulted in the arrest of Brian Walshe for the murder of Anna, and he is now locked up waiting for his day in court. And while he waits, he claims his innocence. He's saying he did not do this. I want you to take a listen to his defense attorney, kind of laying out clearly what the defense will be here.
Your Honor, it has been 4 months since Anna Walsh has last been seen. It was on January 1st of this year. As Your Honor knows, under Massachusetts law, a person is not presumed dead because they're missing for a period of 7 years, because it is easy for a single person to disappear if they want to disappear. In that 4 months, there's been no body found. There's been no indication of if she died, how she died. There's no murder weapon. There's no motive.
No body, no motive. So
motive.
That brings us to the next question in our.
I mean, maybe no body, but no motive. There's nothing but motive. There's a shit ton of motive. Like, there's more motive here than I've seen in almost any case that I've covered, like, fucking ever.
Investigation. Defense was talking about what they didn't have. So what is the evidence against Brian Walshe? How are they going to prove without a body that he murdered his wife, Anna? Joining me, longtime reporter in Massachusetts at Boston 25 News, Bob Ward, and retired Army intelligence officer, former NYPD officer, and now a private investigator, Manuel Gomez is with us. Great to see you both. Let me start here, Manuel. Your thoughts
Manuel
about the fact that they have not been able to find her body.
Well, unfortunately, they've not been able to find her body, but the evidence is still overwhelming against Mr. Walshe. You got to remember, they found on his son's iPad evidence showing that he was looking up how to find stuff to clean up on a crime scene, how long it takes before you're missing, if a body's missing, and so forth, when it's reported. And not only that, but he also lied. He lied numerous times to the police saying where he was. And he said he was only at a coffee shop when it shows him at Home Depot buying cleaning products, over $450 worth of rags and so forth. So no, unfortunately, the body is not going to be given up by him, but in due time, I think he will.
Well, let's do this. Let's take a listen to some of the evidence that prosecutors believe they have in this case.
Mr. Walsh had told the babysitter that he and his wife initially were going to go out for a late brunch, New Year's Day brunch that day. But then he told the babysitter that Anna Walsh had returned to Washington, D.C. That morning at approximately 6 a.m. for a work emergency, and that he needed to visit his mother in Swampscott, and asked the babysitter to stay. He had also told the babysitter and the family friend that he had lost his phone, and he had told the family friend that he had felt somewhat free having lost his phone. Subsequent analysis of his phone determined that it was actually plugged in the morning of January 1st. At that time, when the phone is showing that it's at Lowe's in Danvers, the defendant walks into Lowe's in Danvers by himself on store surveillance video. He is seen purchasing numerous items, including 5 Lowe's 5-gallon buckets, a Lennox high-tension hacksaw, 48 terry cloth towels, a framing hammer, Tyvek full-coverage suit, shoe guards, mop, snips, 200 disposable rags, trash bags, Murphy oil soap, and other cleaning products. It then travels to CVS in Danvers, where Mr. Walsh is again seen on video by himself purchasing 13 different types of hydrogen peroxide. It then travels to Stop and Shop in Swampscott, where Mr. Walsh can be seen buying 3 64-ounce jugs of ammonia. From 2 a.m. to approximately 5:30 a.m., the oldest child's iPad searched and visited websites concerning instructions on how to clean blood and DNA from objects, how to remove SIM cards from phones, how to mix ammonia, and search for apartment complex in Brockton, Massachusetts. At 8 a.m., the babysitter returned to the Walsh residence. Mr. Walsh left the residence that morning and is on surveillance at Home Goods in Norwell, purchasing 3 area rugs and scented candles. The babysitter would state that by the end of the week, she had noticed that the downstairs area rugs had been replaced, as well as a kitchen trash can. On the afternoon of the 3rd, Mr. Walsh visited 3 different apartment complexes in Abington and 1 in Brockton.
Because this is all coincidence, right?
Brockton. Video from these complexes captured Mr. Walsh in the area of the dumpsters for 3 of these complexes. One video showed him looking into a dumpster and not putting anything into it. A second captures him taking items from his SUV by the area of the dumpster. And then the third depicts Mr. Walsh depositing a bag that appears to be heavy into the dumpster. On January 4th at 10:04 a.m.
Okay, did they search the fucking landfill like they did for Quentin Simon?
The person that Mr. Walsh had texted the day before responds to him and asks if he has heard from Anna. 10 minutes later, Mr. Walsh then calls the building that Anna Walsh worked at in D.C. and reports her missing. 5 minutes after that, he texts back to the friend and says, work is looking for her.
Bob Ward, as we take a look at the evidence and the timeline of this case, a couple of things. One, the fact that he's had no communication with his wife for 3 days, then reports her missing. That's odd. And then all these little trips to the dumpster, and like Emmanuel pointed out, the purchasing of these products just out of the blue.
Out of the blue, and I think he's wearing a device, an ankle device, because he's still away. He's on house arrest for the federal charge, so they know exactly where he's going. And if they don't, he lied about at some points that he was saying he was over here when he was actually over there. No.
Okay, man. So my man's on house arrest. And while he's on house arrest, he kills his wife and gets rid of the body. And you can't figure out where the body is? You couldn't recover the body?
It's all very damning. But one of the main things here to remember is that the Commonwealth is going to try to prove a first-degree murder case without a body. Now, it's not impossible, and you hear much of this evidence, and it seems overwhelming, but they would really like to have the body. And the reason that they're saying that there's no body is that the dumpsters that he used were in 2 different parts of the state. The ones in the southern part of the state where he was seen dumping that heavy bag, the bag containing something heavy, and he struggled with it, that went to an incinerator near Cape Cod. All of that stuff is gone. But the dumpsters that were on the North Shore up near his mother's house, the police were able to find some of those items, including a hacksaw. And they're trying to get DNA from that hacksaw to prove once and for all that—
Did they get DNA off the hacksaw?
Anna Walsh is dead. That hacksaw is one of the hacksaws that they saw him buy. I think it was at a Lowe's up on the North Shore. They saw him buy that hacksaw. That's the hacksaw they say.
The Patrick Frazee thing. I remember that dude was like, no body, no crime. And that dude got fucking convicted.
They found, and now they're still working to try to determine DNA if she is on that hacksaw.
That would be crucial. Let's take a listen, Emmanuel, to more of the information regarding these Google searches that he allegedly made.
At 4:55 a.m. on January 1st, he searched how long before a body starts to smell. At 4:58 a.m., how to stop a body from decomposing. At 5:20 a.m., he searched how to embalm a body. At 5:47 a.m., 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. At 6:25 a.m. on the 1st, how long for someone to be missing to inherit. At 6:34 a.m. on the 1st, can you throw away?
That's why I'm asking questions, because I haven't kept up with the details in this case. And this is like 11 months old. This thing that we're going over, it's just like them going over the introduction and basics of this case. But again, this is 11 months ago. There's been things that have happened since.
Body parts. At 9:29 a.m., what does formaldehyde do? At 9:34 a.m. on the 1st, how long does DNA last? At 9:59 a.m., can identification be made on partial remains? At 11:34 a.m., dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body.
Oh my God.
At 11:44, how to clean blood from wooden floor. At 11:56 on the 1st, luminol to detect blood. At 1:08, what happens when you put body parts in ammonia? At 1:21 p.m., is it better to throw crime scene clothes away or wash them?
You know, Manuel, when I look and listen to that evidence, it tells me two things. One, the timeline of when she likely died, because we start talking about
Diane G. What does chloroform smell like? It's intoxicating.
when does a body start to smell? But also, I don't think this was something that was plotted and planned. It seems like it's something that just happened, and he's doing all this stuff after the fact, trying to cover up his tracks, as opposed to planning how he was going to murder her.
I agree. And not only that, but I thought it was, quite smart on his part that he spoke up the places where he's going to drop off the bags. The fact that he bought that hacksaw, all right, cutting the body up, and she was a small woman, she wasn't a big woman, would fit her into one bag if he cut her up in 5 pieces, which he most likely did. And the other thing is that the fact that it went to an incinerator, the average incinerator for these trash facilities are between 1,800 and 2,000 degrees. To cremate the body and cause it into come ashes, it has to be 1,500 degrees or higher. So, of course, like Bob Ward said, the evidence is completely gone. But this guy clearly planned it at the last minute, judging by the timeline. But, again, this is a professional con artist. And I want to say, Vinny, I blame the courts for her death. You know why I blame the courts? Because, Vinny, she was living in a house with a man under house arrest who was already found guilty for selling pictures of and stealing money, and they did not put him in jail. They dragged it out for a couple of years. This man...
It's a non-violent crime. Dude, jails are fucking crowded, man. I get it. He broke the law. It's a jailable crime. But at the same time, there's nothing to indicate that he's dangerous, aside from scamming people out of money. That's as dangerous as he indicated to get. So calm down over there, dude. Please.
Should have been in jail for the crimes of the Andy Warhol pictures, and he wasn't, and she'd still be alive. So, unfortunately, I blame the courts for this one.
That's a great point, Manuel. Manuel Gomez, thank you so much. Bob Ward, appreciate it. Still to come.
Not that I'm defending the Massachusetts courts, not that I'm defending Norfolk County courts, but, yeah. I get it. I get why they let him have bail. He sold some fucking fake pictures, bro. You know what I mean? That's a scam for sure. And there's a lot of money involved, sure. But, I also get why they gave him, bail and house arrest. You know what I mean?
What impact will Trooper Proctor have on Walsh's trial?
Right.
The moment he stepped foot into investigating Brian Walsh and the disappearance of his wife, he knew he was under federal investigation.
Karen Reed was accused of killing a cop. You know what I mean? And she was out on bail the whole time. You know what I mean? So, they're not going to stick this guy in jail for fucking scamming Andy Warhol pictures. Calm down.
Now, back to the Court TV podcast.
And then 5051 says, oh, she's skating, right?
Correct.
And what did you write after that?
My response was 0 chance she skated.
And then what did you write?
She's
0 chance she skates. She's right?
Correct.
You decided on the 29th of January, 17 hours into this investigation, you decided individually, Trooper Proctor, you're not only going to put it on the girl, you decided you're going to make sure this is cut and dried, and the way you're going to do it is to make sure that she's... That's what you were saying.
That's Alan Jackson, the attorney for Karen Reed, going after Trooper Michael Proctor during that trial. Retrial coming up in 2025. But that same trooper, Michael Proctor, lead investigator on Brian Walsh's case. Take a look at this. Some complaints from Walsh's defense. The investigation of
it was federal.
Mr. Walsh was being conducted at or around the same time that Proctor, his supervisors, and other agents of the Commonwealth were investigating the aforementioned Reed case and making biased and unprofessional remarks and decisions. Now, I want you to take a look at Brian Walsh's attorney in court going after Trooper Michael Proctor.
What we're able to determine is that Trooper Proctor, who was the lead investigator on this case, the moment he stepped foot into investigating Brian Walsh and the disappearance of his wife, he knew he was under federal investigation. And so his bias, his motive, anything or his integrity is forefront for him. So with all those thoughts, when you're considering all of that, I don't know how it's not Rule 14. I don't know how we're not already in possession of this. And so otherwise I'd rest on the papers. And
hey, I want to say that I really appreciate you guys for hanging out here with me, man. I know that the great Melanie Little is live right now, and she's actually been following this case a lot closer than I have. So for information, you would benefit more from watching her. So, but for those of you who are just kind of like hanging out here, just because I'm just hanging out, that's all I'm doing, you know. So I appreciate you guys hanging out here with me, because that's all I kind of felt like doing. But you know, if you're trying to like get like educated on this, I highly recommend going over to Melanie Little and watching her. There's a reason why there's a lot of people over there watching her. She's been following this. She's been covering it.
talk about Beal, your argument. In Beal, I agree the prosecutor doesn't have a duty to go investigate our case, but they have it. So we're not asking them to go get something they don't have. And in footnote 4 in Beal, which isn't cited in their brief, it specifically says the government isn't able to simply put their head in the sand if there is something exculpatory. And documents that show that the lead investigator in a homicide case knew he was under federal investigation the moment he stepped foot in the case is certainly...
Isn't it even stronger? Well, I'm not making your argument, but...
Well, that's interesting. So she's saying that Proctor knew that he was under federal investigation when he was investigating Brian Walsh. So that's interesting.
Wasn't he already under prosecution?
No, Your Honor. Do you mean Mr. Walsh or do you mean... No.
What's the timing of his federal indictment?
Do you mean do you mean Trooper Proctor or Mr. Walsh?
I thought you were talking about Mr. Walsh.
No, Mr. Walsh's state investigation. No, Trooper Proctor knew he was under...
Yeah, that's okay, man. You know, I mean, that's okay. You know, I mean, look, I understand that. The mighty one, Mark Betterow, he doesn't like the word retard, but he accepts the fact that I use it. But I respect that he doesn't like it, and I respect him, so I try to refrain from using it when I'm around him. You know, so out of respect, you know, I mean, I can understand that. You know what I mean? If you're just one of these people who are just like, don't say words because I don't want you to say them, you know, go fuck yourself. But, you know, like when I respect you and you're, you know, just like, you know, he never told me to stop saying it. He just said, oh, man, I hate that word. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. If me sucking my teeth around somebody that I really respect annoys them, well, then I'm going to try not to suck my teeth. You know what I mean?
Federal investigation. The moment he stepped foot.
Saying there was a bias against your client because he was under federal law.
No, it's Trooper Proctor.
That's an additional bias, by the way.
Right, but we're just focused on that part. But the moment he stepped into this investigation, and bear in mind, the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, they control homicide investigations. They work with the state police with CPAC. So now the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office knew that Proctor was under federal investigation, specifically for how how he investigates supervision, etc. He now is the case officer in this matter while his case is pending. So that's one of a myriad reasons why not only are these documents relevant, they could very well be exculpatory. And under Rule 14, it's not exculpatory, it's material and relevant. And so with respect to that, I would rest on the papers, Your Honor.
So Brian Walsh's defense looking to get some more information about Trooper Proctor, trying to get some of those records to use against him in this case. So that brings us to our next question in this investigation. What impact will Trooper Proctor have?
And why wouldn't you do that? That's got a fucking bow on it. If you're Brian Walsh's defense attorney and this guy was the lead investigator in your client's case to try to prosecute your client, to charge your client, like, that's got a fucking bow on it. That Proctor was the guy after everything that just happened with him in the Karen Reed case. That's fucking beautiful. I would exploit the fuck out of that if I was a defense attorney. Why the fuck wouldn't you?
Walsh's trial, is this a problem for prosecutors? Joining me, Massachusetts trial attorney Wayne Dennison. All right, Wayne, what are your thoughts there? How does this play now? Because, I mean, the allegations in the Karen Reed case were very specific to that case, right? That, you know, he's covering up for another cop, protecting a cop, framing someone else. But how does any problems in that case relate to his work in this case?
Well, the argument that we saw from defense attorney was simply that he was already under federal investigation relative to the Karen Reed case. And in lots of ways, Boston is a big city, but a very small town. And so you see the same players over and over again. You've got, I think, a very difficult defense in this case, and you've got to put somebody on trial. So I suspect we're going to see another trial in which Michael Proctor is going to be a centerpiece, although I'm sure that the prosecution will try to deflect that as much as possible.
So how does that play in front of a jury, right? In Karen Reed, I get it. Like, I understood it. I could follow, I could connect the dots as to what their theory was. But Brian Walsh is, you know, this case has nothing to do with police, has nothing to do with alleged corruption. It has nothing to do with a cover-up. This is, for lack of a better term, you know, simple domestic violence type of case with people who are not connected.
Corruption that you never, like, see, that's what pisses me off about Vinny, because Vinny would never talk about the corruption when he was covering Karen Reed. But he just let me know that he was fully aware of it. He was fully aware of the allegations. You know what I mean? Like, that's just annoying.
To law enforcement at all. So is it a stretch by the defense? Is it a sign of desperation because they have nothing else?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's a stretch, but I can tell you this. If you don't have anything else, you're going to have to point to the empty chair. And Michael Proctor is going to be the empty chair in this case because the prosecution has already made it clear that they're not going to put him on. And and what the defense will say is that this guy is a bad cop. And he was the lead prosecutor on this case. He was the lead investigator.
That's all it takes. That's all it fucking takes. Of course, they're not going to call this guy to the stand. And we talked about this back then.
On this case. And this case is therefore dirty and impugned by the fact that the lead investigator is a bad cop.
Now, one of the big revelations for the defense in the Karen Reed case was getting Trooper Proctor's cell phone. Do you think they'll have an opportunity to get those records from his cell phone, whether it's text messages and other things?
Well, that part of the argument that you just saw was what materials does the prosecution already have in hand?
That confirms everything that I already figured, because you're like, I used to mod for Vinny. It's a court TV thing too, but he does also have a choice, right? You know what I mean? Like, he played the easy way, because look, I mean, you know how I know that? Julie fucking Grant. That's how I know that. Julie fucking Grant, because Julie Grant went up there and had no problem trashing Turtle Boy, had no problem having insane Wendy Murphy up there and trashing Aiden Turtle Boy, Carney. He was fully aware of all this stuff and he wouldn't talk about it. And it was frustrating, you know, like, and we knew that that his opinions leaned towards, obviously there's something really wrong here. And that's all he would say. That's as far as he would go. He would be like, there's something really wrong here. You know, I'm just saying, I'm not taking one side or the other. That's why I wear a purple tie. Like, okay, man. You know, but meanwhile, you got Julie Grant just piling lies. Just spewing lies, and having Wendy Murphy up there spewing lies.
Largely from the Karen Reed case, that they should be turning over in the Walshe case. And that was the entire argument that you just saw in front of Judge Frenier, that was all about those various materials that we already know about. It has been some expectation that the prosecution is going to go out and try to make some inquiry into what, if anything, Proctor has that might point to some level of misconduct here.
Yeah.
But who knows how hard they're going to push that.
Wayne Dennison, great to see you. Thank you so much. Now, I don't know what Brian Walsh's defense will be, but if he claims that Anna just ran away, I don't think anyone's going to buy it. There's no proof of life anywhere. But even more so, there are 3 little boys without a mom. There's no way she would have just walked out and walked away from them. And there's no way you can sell that to a jury. That being said, without a body, jurors still may have some lingering questions. I'm Vinny Politan. We'll keep digging for the answers as the investigation continues.
All right. So that's that. God damn, dude. And then we're just going to see what we're looking at here.
A key decision is expected today in the Brian Walshe case.
It will determine if he's going to stand trial next week for the murder of his wife, Anna. WBZ's Penny Commit is live in Dedham with all the details of what's coming up today. Penny?
Well, Paula, Chris, this has kind of been a long time coming in a way. You know, this crime was allegedly committed back in 2023. The trial was supposed to begin last month until the judge ordered that Brian Walshe undergo a competency evaluation. This is because his attorneys argued that Walshe was mentally and physically unfit to stand trial after being stabbed in prison. You'll remember Walshe is accused of killing and dismembering his 39-year-old wife, Anna Walshe, in 2023. Her body has never been found, but investigators did find blood and a damaged knife in the basement of their home. Prosecutors say the Cohasset father also made a series of gruesome internet searches on his son's iPad, including asking how long before a body starts to smell. Walshe was then arrested. He faces several charges, including murder. If this case does go to trial, we could see a familiar face. Now disgraced state trooper and lead investigator into the Karen Reed case, Michael Proctor, also investigated this case. So it will be interesting to see how that plays a factor. Now, today is going to be this competency hearing. If the judge does decide that this can move forward, Monday would be a pretrial hearing, and then the trial would actually begin on Tuesday with jury selection. We're live in Dedham. I'm Penny Commit, WBZ News.
Wow. So that's pretty wild. So I forgot that he got stabbed in jail. And that's what's funny is like when I think of a guy like that getting stabbed in jail, I laugh. I just laugh, dude. Like it just makes me think of like Chappelle's show when Tyrese stabbed that dude's dad. Like, fuck that guy. I don't give a shit that guy got stabbed. All right, let's listen to this right here.
Unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin, or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros.
The search is for Anna Walsh. I'm your host, Matt Fortin, and this is a special episode. We usually bring you updates from court or analysis from experts, but today, we are going to bring you a glimpse into a big part of Brian and Anna's lives. Much of it was new to us, even with all of the reporting we've done, and it includes the first video we've seen of the couple together. We found that through a professional development group they were a part of, and through which they raised money for charity called the Boston Breakthrough Academy, the BBA for short. In court, the Walshes used the BBA as an example of Brian's supposed fresh start after he pleaded guilty in 2021 to federal charges stemming from an international art fraud scheme he orchestrated for years. For a recap on that case, listen to episode 2 in our first season. Here's a bit of what Brian wrote about the BBA in a 2021 letter to U.S. District Judge Douglas Woodlock ahead of his sentencing in the art fraud case. Executive producer Asher Klein is reading Brian's letter in this episode.
For the past 2 years, I have been in a training process that supports all members of our community to be the best versions of themselves. This training has changed my life.
So what exactly was the BBA? We'll walk you through everything we've uncovered about the group that Anna called a process of self-discovery for Brian.
Okay. Sounds a little culty.
Brian, would you like to
but
say
okay.
any other words? Yes, I would like to thank all of our donors. As you said so well, 150,000, actually almost 165,000 people are being fed during this time. It was the, what is it? I want to say it's 150 tons of food have been rescued from different closed restaurants, farms, and grocery stores. So thank you very much. Let's keep up the good work. So all the food going in there allows these other places not to have a food budget. Thank you again. Thank you so much. People are eating because of your efforts and your actions. Yeah.
You just heard the voice of Brian Walsh on a Zoom dance party hosted by the BBA during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic in April of 2020. The class was raising money to benefit a local food bank. Brian is with Anna on this Zoom, which was broadcast on Facebook Live. We found it there years later after Brian's arrest. She kisses him on the cheek when he finishes speaking, and then they go back to dancing together. So, what was the purpose of the BBA? Why did Brian join?
Sloopy Goosey?
And who were the colleagues he got to know through it? Here's what we could gather about the group based on its website and social media. The BBA began in 2019, offering, quote, leadership training courses designed to transform your personal and professional life, according to its website. The site is still up and running, but defective. The landing page is full of scrambled words and some links including the company's About Us and leadership team pages. The program has 3 levels. Level 1, Discovery. Level 2, Breakthrough. And Level 3, Leadership. Levels 1 and 2 both consisted of multiple day-long immersive experiences. The programs ran through the weekends straight.
I mean, that sounds a little lowbrow, man. Like, that's the best you can come up with? Let's hear those 3 things one more time. Those 3 levels.
The program has 3 levels. Level 1, Discovery. Level 2, Breakthrough. And Level 3, Leadership. Levels 1 and 2 both consisted of multiple day-long immersive experiences. The programs ran through the weekends straight from mid-morning to midnight with a graduation on Sunday night. Both levels acted as prerequisites for Level 3, a 3-month curriculum focused on building emotional intelligence and creating lifelong habits. The BBA ran other types of leadership programs too, like the Mastering Leadership Program, a 6-month group training which is a prerequisite for becoming a trainer. Now, Brian first joined the BBA in January of 2020 before the pandemic, but during his time in the program, things moved virtual. The organization continued through Zoom meetings, similar to that Facebook Live we heard him speak in that we played you earlier. Brian was in the 3rd graduating class at BBA, called B3. Following that, Brian, along with some of his other colleagues, were enrolled in the Mastering Leadership Program in 2021. His attorneys wrote in a letter, quote, "There, he met others who, like him, had engaged in destructive behaviors and had learned to overcome them throughout self-reflection and good works. We emailed almost..."
You know what makes this so great is how effective that shit turned out to be for my man Brian Walshe. I love this shit. This shit really worked out for you, buddy. Like, self-destructive behavior. All this destructive behavior, I've learned how to work it out. Okay. Okay. Hold on here. Get this back. Get. There we go.
30 people involved in the program during its existence, and most did not answer, while other members declined to speak with us. But in the summer of 2020, Anna described it herself, at least in a picture the BBA posted of her, Brian, and 2 of their kids. Underneath them is a quote, apparently from Anna. Quote, "Students at BBA get to know themselves better, understand the past, issue forgiveness to others and themselves, and step into leadership or level up." Based on our research, which included conversations with sources, the BBA seemed to be what it said it was. Brian's efforts to raise money for charity seemed legitimate too, with funds raised by he and his peers ending up in the hands of a respected charity in Massachusetts. But the program seemingly ceased to operate in 2022. Massachusetts business records indicate the company was dissolved at the end of 2024. After this break, we'll hear from members of the BBA in their own words in court. Welcome back to the searches for Anna Walshe. So, last season we told you about the legal challenges Brian faced before he was accused of murdering his wife. Brian was federally charged with selling phony Andy Warhol paintings for tens of thousands of dollars. Walshe was arrested in that investigation in 2018, and he pleaded guilty in 2021 to 1 count each of wire fraud, interstate transportation for a scheme to defraud, and unlawful monetary transaction. We learned a lot about Brian and Anna through the court filings in that case, and we continue to get new insights into his and Anna's life together thanks to those court filings. Now, of 13 letters written in support of Brian, 5 were from people that he met through the BBA, and those letters addressed the judge asking him to be lenient in his sentencing of Brian. The letters are all about Brian's character, and they paint him in a positive light, saying he's made big changes in his life and he's a good person, despite being a fraudster. Now, listen to this passage from a letter written by Jem Mutlu, read by NBC 10 Boston assignment manager Brian Michael.
Brian, with his big heart, has impacted me in ways that will linger way beyond the present moment. He has been a leader to us, an inspiration to all he comes in contact with, and the epitome of the word transformation. Brian and I both come from broken families. We have known very early on as human beings what it's like to experience fear, anger, abandonment, and shame, as well as the promise of boundless love. Admittedly, it took us both decades to turn the ship around and safely to shore, this time for generations. I am aware of Brian's legal situation. The way Brian has shown up for me has touched and changed the course of my life. I practice his gentle and all-in way of servant leadership with my team at work. We have many mutual friends. Anna is now my partner in business. They and their 3 little boys have become my family. Brian is a truly special human being who cares deeply about the well-being of all people. Going forward, his path is that of service and inspiration. I'm proud to call him a friend and an adopted brother.
Jem Mutlu met Brian through the BBA and became a close friend to him and a business partner to his wife, Anna. Another person who vouched for Brian was Candace Sjogren, who was CEO of the Boston Breakthrough Academy. She said that Brian had been a student and mentee of hers. Here is some of her letter, read by NBC 10 Boston senior assignment editor Debbie King.
Having experienced Brian in both our basic fundamental program and in our Mastering Leadership program, I have seen firsthand his efforts to take himself on, live out his vision to create laughter and harmony with his family and the world, and lead several teams to be in massive contribution to their community. I have great respect for anyone who has fallen and redeems themselves. I am one of those people, and I see Brian for the revival he is committed to creating in his life. He is a committed family man, an inspiring businessman, and a loyal and devoted friend. I, for one, am grateful for the journey that has brought him to this point and look forward to seeing the impact he will continue to make on the world.
I want to point out that Ms. Sjogren and Mr. Mutlu were among the people we reached out to and did not hear back from as we looked to learn more about the Walshes' time at the BBA.
They don't want to
I
own
also
that
sent
shit.
a message to the BBA's general email listed on their Facebook page, but
Like, what do you
message
expect them to
appeared bounce
say?
back. Finally, we'll hear from Brian in his own letter.
So what do you expect them to say? Like, you get in contact with the people who made those statements, and then you go, well, what do you think now? You know they're going to be like, I don't know. I mean, what do you say to that? You go, I mean, I guess we'll find out what the court says. I don't know. Like, what was the point of saying, oh, well, we reached out to them, but they didn't, they have not contacted. I wouldn't contact you either. I wouldn't fucking, no. I wouldn't even bother responding to you either. Like, what the fuck would you expect me to say to that? Like, that was the impression he gave me at the time. And now I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Letter recounting his supposed change of heart to Judge Woodlock, read by executive producer Asher Klein.
I am writing to you as I fear that I will not be able to speak articulately in my sentencing. I am extremely sorry for my past conduct. My sorrow is multifaceted. My conduct has led to others being hurt, as well as to the misuse of our government's resources. It could have been focused to feed the hunger or shelter the homeless. My conduct has caused and created a world that lacks deep trust and psychological safety.
Like,
I didn't understand
the resources, man, because I ripped off some asshole who wanted a fucking Andy Warhol painting. You know, the resources in prosecuting me could have gone to feeding the poor. Shut the fuck up, dude. You fucking rip people off, man. Like, that's what we pay our taxes for, is to prosecute assholes like you. Stop it.
To our community that my lack of integrity had caused. I will never be blind to this again. For the past 2 years, I have been in a training process that supports all members of our community to be the best versions of themselves. This training has changed my life. I have opened a new company where we train others on the foundations of trust, safety, inclusion, diversity, and collaboration. I have created a contract for myself. I'm an honest, courageous, loving leader. I repeat this contract to myself on a daily basis. I train every day on 100% integrity 100% of the time. Dr. Tipman asked me, how can I tell the judge that I, as a medical professional, am sure that you will never break the law again? My answer was the following. Since January of 2020, I train daily on several distinctions of leadership. One of them is integrity. Crime occurs from an incremental breakdown of one's integrity. This can occur when one becomes attached to outcomes over process. For the first time in my life, I have a team, a small group, and one-on-one
This guy's
mentoring
awesome.
that supports 100% integrity I now exemplify myself. Because of that support, I am unwavering in always being my word and responsible for all actions, direct and indirect. I mentor others using my own experiences to enroll them into never wavering from being in integrity. Whether it be speeding, omitting something from their taxes, or being late to a meeting,
Take a shot every time he says integrity.
I believe that how we do one thing is how we do everything. My point is not to be strict, but to be loving, to hold others at their highest potential, to let them know that one indiscretion that is not acknowledged will only lead to others. It is as simple as breaking your word to yourself. The sooner one reaches out for support, the less likely they will need the support of our justice system for correction and redirection. My request is your support in continuing to be in service to my wife and sons, my mother-in-law, my business partners, our community and charities in our state. I'm requesting the opportunity to repay my debt to our community without breaking my word to those that depend on me daily. I am not a threat to any members of our society. My only declaration and intention is to be of service to our community and beyond. I am embarrassed that it took me this long to transform, but I am committed to continuing my purpose of being in contribution, leading by example, and serving everyone I come in contact with.
These letters were filed in September of 2021, the beginning of what would become a drawn-out and complicated sentencing process for Walshe's art fraud scheme. Walshe's lawyers tried to avoid prison time for their client, proposing a year of house arrest as punishment, as well as $475,000 in restitution payments to his scam victims and $225,000 in forfeiture. Walshe's lawyers cited the BBA and said he worked to raise more than $500,000 for charity altogether, to say he had reformed himself and was, quote, unlikely to offend again given his transformation. They said a year of home confinement would be enough of a punishment, while allowing him to take care of the kids while Anna continued to work. Plus, avoiding prison would give him time to work on his new business. In order to pay the restitution back to the victims, Walshe's lawyers said he...
Jen Dalgaus, thank you so much. Hey, Will, buy Clubber some bacon. Love you. Keep make ingredients laugh on this beautiful Friday. Keep making you laugh on this beautiful. Okay. Yeah, it's the spell thing on the super chats are a pain in the ass. I wish YouTube would fix that, but thank you. I appreciate that so much.
Would need to invest time into the company he formed with a colleague.
Clubber's gonna love it.
The company was called Let's We Can. His lawyers wrote that it, quote, provides interactive team-building exercises to businesses whose employees work remotely or in non-traditional office settings. They said that he took a $2,500 monthly salary for 2 months and then $5,000 a month after some more money started coming into the business. Now, Brian at the time said he believed his salary would increase if he was able to keep working at it. He said he was putting all of the money aside into a special account to make those restitution payments. Brian's lawyer said, quote, he spent countless hours contacting potential customers, putting together PowerPoint presentations to market the company and its products, writing proposals, and overseeing the delivery of its product. Let's We Can had, at the time, just signed its biggest contract ever, which Brian said was worth up to $100,000 in revenue. He said he intended to put 100% of his profits from this contract toward his restitution. Now, I've reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office, which prosecuted this case, to learn how much Walshe has paid in restitution to date. I was told by the Finance Office that that information cannot be made public. Now, it's also unclear what became of this company, which was listed as his employer on Walshe's arrest warrant in the disappearance of his wife. I spoke with NBC 10 Boston chief legal analyst Michael Coyne about Walshe's lawyers' approach to this sentencing.
A lot of folks well understand that if they're trying to keep themselves out of prison, that you better have some type of redeeming activity that you can point to so that the court can have some ability to be either more lenient or to keep you out of prison. So it is what we do in every case. And
yeah, I just need to improve my vocabulary. But thank you, Tracy Cooley. I appreciate it.
what you try to provide is both the probation office as well as the court with a record, a definitive record that this person doesn't need as much incarceration. And it is the nature of the sentencing process to make sure that the court has as much of your good deeds as
It
bad
wasn't
deeds.
until 2024 that Walsh was finally sentenced.
You're just gonna cut
in the
that dude
Art
off
Fraud
like
case
that?
by a different judge than the one originally overseeing his sentencing. By this point, he had allegedly murdered Anna, so Brian was already in custody. Now, in this hearing, he was sentenced to 37 months in prison for that art case, to run concurrently with any state sentence he may face in his wife's alleged murder. Now, I also asked Michael Coyne about the lengthy sentencing process in this case. Here were his thoughts on that matter.
Very surprising, frankly, and very much dragged out, especially when you consider that there really were no appellate issues at this point. He pled to these facts.
Yeah,
He
that's a
pled
good
to
point
having
too.
committed the criminal acts.
Like, why is the sentencing taking
oftentimes-
so long if he pled? Like he pled out. So just fucking sentence the guy. Should have happened the same fucking day. In some cases, that's what happens.
Times that this would be a relatively perfunctory process going from
Perfunctory.
the plea ultimately to your probation report, the evaluation of any support he would have, and a relatively quick sentencing under that process. So to consider that it took 2 years instead of 3 months, which would be much more typical, that's surprising. And especially then with the guidelines that likely were in place at the time calling for incarceration, for him to be able to avoid incarceration with a lengthy probation period. It is well out of the ordinary, I'd say.
Thanks for listening.
All right, shut up.
Analyst Michael Coyne, and we're going to be really diving into some of the reporting that we had for you on the last episode about the Boston Breakthrough Academy, about the sentencing process and the prolonged nature of it for that art fraud case that Walsh was involved in before the alleged murder of Anna. So we're going to try to bring you some analysis on the reporting from the last episode. If you haven't heard it yet, go ahead and listen to that last episode before jumping into this one. So, Michael, I want to ask, we're hearing all about all of these sentencing hearings in Brian Walsh's earlier case involving that art fraud scheme. Now, his lawyers were really making the case to the judge that, look, yes, he's a fraudster. He pleaded guilty to those charges, but he's really, at the time, was working on bettering himself, and they used this Boston Breakthrough Academy as an example of that, saying he's using his people skills and social skills for good by reaching out to people and working with donors to raise money for charity. Does joining a program, in this case it's the BBA, maybe for a different...
One second, guys. All right. Thank you, Sleuthy. I was going to check anyway. See what we got going on here. Yeah, so basically they're going to determine whether or not Brian Walsh is competent to stand trial. He just had a psychological evaluation done, apparently, and they're going to determine whether or not, based on the results of that psychological evaluation, whether or not he's competent to stand trial. Now, is that the same courtroom? Same Karen Reed courtroom? Looks like it. Same dude. What's up, Dave? It's actually not a bad idea. Let me take a look.
I can see you now. Yeah, we have to say unalive sometimes. I mean, sometimes even I slip up, but it's because they'll shadow ban you if you use certain words, which is really obnoxious. So if you ever hear creators say unalive or...
Good call, Dave.
It's because the word...
This is
specific
fantastic.
word, which is hard.
The
We're
best
true
idea
crime
ever.
creators. It's part of what we're talking about. So you're essentially censoring a word that involves cases we're talking about here. It's kind of crazy and it makes no sense. But again, that's YouTube for you. And then there are rules. There are certain rules about what you can't say.
You mean like
in
retard?
ads, for instance. So if you swear a lot, your videos will not be able to be monetized. It's a whole rigmarole of nonsensical crap you can do and you can't do. It's like poo-poo if you talk about it. They don't like you like...
What are you talking about, lady? You mean like
twat?
You mean like
Oi, cunt?
You mean like
you're a little cunt?
You mean like
you need to shut the fuck up?
Like, yeah, that's a myth. That's a fucking myth. I can say whatever the fuck I want up here.
They can understand why I am not or I am doing X, Y, or Z. It's weird to ask me to not. Their rules are weird to be a monetized channel.
What's funny is that
these people are talking about getting their nails done.
She does the worst shit. She does she violates TOS all the time. Like, she slanders people. She does horrible shit. Like, she's the only one violating TOS. Like, it's not against TOS to use cuss words. You can use cuss words. It's just you may not be eligible for certain ad revenue. That's all it is.
Court TV, law and crime, bigger content creators do certain things that aren't allowed without doing a goddamn thing. But if it's a small creator, you can lose your channel.
I completely
agree. They're
agree.
making more money off of larger creators. That's why.
They
take a large
You're not going to lose your channel for fucking saying, murder. You can absolutely say murder. You just may not get certain ad revenue. That's all. That's all. You just may not get certain people, certain companies may not want to run their ads on your show. That's it.
on November 1st. You're not going to get that money until December 21st. So that's well over a month later. YouTube pays out one time a month. One. And so anything you make between the first and the last day of the month, you will not get until the following month. So for instance, anything I made in October, I will get at the end of November. And anything I make in November, I will not get until the end of December. It's weird like that.
No, it's not weird like
People
that.
ask
It's a
all the
monthly
time, like,
payment,
how it works,
bro.
you know? And YouTube does kind of poo-poo on you telling your followers.
You're fucking retarded, dude. You're talking about millions of creators whose revenue has to be processed before it gets paid out. That's why it takes as long as it does. You get paid on the 21st of every month unless it lands on the weekend, but you get paid on the 21st of every month from YouTube. That's how it works. That's how it works. But it measures from the first of the month to the last of the month as far as like what you're getting paid for. But it pays out that following, just like anything else, just like any other job. Like you're not getting paid for like when you get a paycheck on a Friday at a job back in 1992. You get a paycheck for your job. You're not getting paid for the hours that you worked up until they handed you that check. It's the payroll that was processed the week prior, dude. That's how you get paid. That's how everything fucking works. That's how a job fucking works. The fuck are you talking about? YouTube's weird. No, it's not.
Like, we should get an itemized list of every bit that they took from each donation. And they don't show you that anywhere. You know? Good to know, Holly. Oh, that's kind of cool.
She's
Kick.
always
What's
complaining
Kick? Is
about
that
money.
like, I don't know if I've heard of Kick. Is that for like more gamers or like how's that work? Is that supposed to be like a Dash, like DoorDash?
I hate complaining about money. I hate hearing people complain about money. Like it just fucking annoys the shit out of me, dude. Like I fucking hate it.
Interesting. Kick.com. I'm looking at it right now to see what is it? Is it for gamers? Is that what it is? Or is it just for anybody? Interesting. That's interesting. Where human creativity breaks free. Remission, pull
This is
transmission.
amazing.
Live life unfiltered. It's streaming, same as Twitch. Suited to long form streams, kind of like me, yeah. Deliberately different. Ignore expectations. Being unconventional isn't discouraged, it's championed. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to join Kick too.
Yes.
I wonder if I can integrate it onto StreamYard as well. Human generated
Right.
content.
Like that's what's blowing my mind.
Go live
Is
from every angle.
She feels entitled to the money that people work hard for, dude. Like I'm just grateful. You guys show me support based on what you feel that I'm worth to you. Like that is, you know, just you guys are like, that's your way of showing appreciation, and I'm grateful for it. And whatever it is, it is. Whether it's a fucking $1 or $100, I'm fucking super fucking stoked about it. Because it's really, really nice that people fucking appreciate you like that. Like that is crazy. It's a crazy concept to think about that people actually fucking want to listen to you. You know what I mean? And you're like, how do you have anything but gratitude for that? But you feel entitled to people's money who work for it. Like they're probably sitting at work listening to your dumbass right now, taking their fucking money that they're working for, and you know, and you're trying to guilt them into giving it to you. What is wrong with you?
Interesting.
She keeps saying that. Interesting.
Meet streaming stand. Actually, you first have to stream for at least 30 hours and have at least 250 unique chatters in the last 30 days. Have at least 25 active subscribers and at least 250 followers. Maintain an average of 75 concurrent viewers. See, YouTube doesn't have those. Like, you just have to meet a ridiculous amount of hours to be monetized. So it takes a long while to become monetized on YouTube first. But you don't have to maintain an average of
It really doesn't.
concurrent viewers.
Dude, it took fucking Ray from Dallas, what, 2 weeks tops? Like, it does not take a long time to get monetized on YouTube at all. Like, it does if you suck. You know what I mean? It does if nobody gives a fuck about what you're doing. You know? But fucking Ray from Dallas just rocked it. Ray from Dallas just straight up fucking started fucking doing live streams. Just was like, whatever. And then he was getting enough subscribers quick enough and getting enough views quick enough. Watch time hours and subscribers is all it takes. And you get those enough in a quick enough amount of time, you're monetized. Now, you may not make a lot of money because you're not getting that many views, but that's fine. You know what I mean? You're still getting money for just fucking doing something that you like doing, you know?
Revenue will be calculated differently when multi-streaming.
Yeah, Kasi will be monetized in no time.
By 50% compared to revenue generated for streaming exclusively on Kick. It is a racket. They do. What I don't agree with is the amount that they're taking from small creators. Like, it would make sense if you have a certain amount of followers, then you're making a decent amount of money. When you're a smaller channel like me, it makes it almost impossible.
So grow your channel. Grow your channel. Don't be a shitbag. Grow your channel. Just don't be a shitbag. It's easy. I'm just a small channel. I'm the little guy, and that's why I failed, because I'm the little guy, and the little guy can never get a leg up. Shut the fuck up. Nobody gives a fuck. Work harder.
What is happening? Maybe. That's a good option, Sam. It is a monopoly. Which they try to avoid,
dude,
right?
You get free fucking money, dude. Because you think you're entitled to the world hearing your voice.
Hey, good morning. We were supposed to start at 11. It got pushed back, but we're still not seeing anything here. We're just court personnel talking.
It's so funny, dude. This lady is like unreal. She's like my favorite YouTuber of all time. Like, I fucking love listening to her fucking. She is on her own planet, bro.
Hi, Will. You're that bored, bub?
Yeah.
You're that bored?
Yeah.
Wow. Kind of sad, buddy. Everyone say hi to the liar.
The liar.
He's restreaming us.
Mm-hmm.
You could take that strike. I really don't give a shit one way or another.
What strike? I'm not going to get striked. You can't strike me. It's fair use. And now I'm enjoying this even more. This just got even better.
Funny because he could just play this himself like a normal fucking human being.
I totally could. The thing is I'm not a normal human being. You've never met anybody like me.
He's so far up Aiden's ass, Aiden can spit him out. How is it up there? How is it up there, Will?
Warm and loved.
You're up Aiden's ass? How is it up there?
Warm and loved. Oh, she can't strike me. Like,
He says warm, apparently. Sure it is, bud. Sure it is.
Bud. Sure it is, bud. Right. End the stream. Do it. Do it. End the stream.
Yeah. Apparently he's that bored with his life that he can't just stream the hearing himself.
I mean, I could, but that's not
Got nothing
nearly
else
as
to talk
fun.
about these days, guys.
It's not nearly as fun.
One second. This screen.
Yeah, everybody's streaming this. But nobody's streaming this idiot streaming it except me. Which is just fantastic. Right, like she could have just completely ignored it. Now it just made it more fun. I agree, Oasis Cat.
He's got nothing better to do in life.
Like, if you
Clearly.
if she shut up, she'd
Clearly.
learn something. If she would shut up, she'd learn something. Like this, there's a guy explaining to somebody right now on a hot mic that that's the Sacco and Vanzetti courtroom, where 100 years ago, like they got support from all over the world. Like they were clearly innocent, and they got support from all over the world. And this was like well over 100 years ago. Thank you, Annie. Ani 2510. He's so mad. I mean, that's why we're streaming her, because she knows better than all of the other law tubers. Okay. She knows better than all of the other law tubers. So we're here to learn from the great mind of Twisted Tragedies. We're here to learn. Okay. All those fools over there watching Melanie Little. Melanie Little with her law degree. Who wants to listen to that? Nobody wants to listen to that. Oh. Yeah, I can't stand people who do that. Who have like disabled kids, and then they like live off the kids' social security. I don't know if that's the case with her. I see people just blasting stuff. I don't know what's true or what's not, but like I just can't stand people who do that
Oh
shit.
my God, what the fuck are they doing here? Like, come on already. Can we get a hearing?
Yeah, it's fair use. Yeah. I got the disclaimer in the description every video that I do. I've been doing this too long. I remember
The hearing was supposed to be 9:30, right?
I remember I was
Then
doing this. Oh
when
my
I was
God.
going live about 9:15.
Shut up. Nobody wants to hear you complain right now. I was doing this with a creator named oh my God, what was her fucking name? Gosh, she was a fucking idiot too. Like she disappeared off the face of the earth. I wonder what happened to her. She talked about like reality shows and shit. And then she jumped on this case that I was talking about, and I was streaming her live, and she tried to strike me while I was live, and I got the email, and it was really funny. Like I got the email from YouTube while I was live, and they were like, yeah, so this channel tried to strike you, but we saw that there was no violation and that you were that fair use was applied here and blah blah blah. and I read it out loud while I was live streaming her. Fuck, I can picture her fucking face right now too, and I can't remember her goddamn name. It's driving me crazy. Oh man, she was really stupid too. I can't remember her name. I barely covered her. I only covered her when she started talking about a case that I was covering. Ani gifted a membership. Thank you so much. No, it wasn't Zav Girl. Yeah, she was she's Katie Joy. That's her. Katie Joy. Katie Joy. It was Katie Joy. I've never seen anybody more hated on the internet in my life. Everyone hated this woman for some reason. Like she somehow still got most of her views were hate views. But yeah, I was streaming Katie Joy and she was just like, oh yeah, Glarer, blah blah blah. You're gonna stream me. And then she tried to strike me while I was live streaming her. And then I got the email from YouTube and I got to like read it while I was streaming her. And they were like, no, we're not going to strike you because it was fair use. Yeah. What happened to Katie Joy? I mean, I don't really care, but
Definitely lay down if I were you, girl. Just relax, you know? Ibuprofen, something. Maybe shut the lights off, get some lavender. That'll help.
Yeah, dude, like Dr. Tragedies. Kayla Jones gifted 5 memberships. Oh my God. Thank you, Katie Jones. I'd like to thank Twisted Tragedies for the excellent coverage. Thank you so much. tell me my flavor's yucky and you're talking about orange? Fuck out of here. This shit is Ultra Vice Guava. It's delicious. This Twisted Tragedy stream is brought to you by Monster Ultra Vice Guava. When you want that Miami feel, you get that Miami juice. There you go. I like the orange one actually. So is this dude? God damn. Well, here we go. look at the highlighted. Look at the highlighted. I've never ever been charged with a DUI in my life.
Oh, Lisa from Texas. Thanks for that screenshot. Nobody owes $55K in back rent, you fucking idiot. Some of these people really need to help on understanding things.
God, $55K.
I don't owe a single penny in rent, but okay. Well, sure.
Jesus. $55,000 is a lot of money, bro.
Good morning to Defense Counsel. We can have Mr. Walsh brought in.
Yeah, bring his ass in. Let's go. Yeah, without a crystal ball. That's the name of our fucking channel. That's right. Thank you, 1977 Felicia. KJ from Without a Crystal Ball is still around. I remember correctly, her suit settlement with Tati was she had to testify that she was in cahoots with Tati's ex-business partner to bring Tati down with, I don't care about any of that. But thank you. I appreciate it. She just, yeah, I don't see anybody talking about her. For some reason, the whole world loved to talk about her. She had channels just totally dedicated to hating her and streaming her shit. Like, it was wild. She was one of the most hated people I ever saw on Twitter.
Can I see counsel at the side of the bench?
What the hell? Already a sidebar. Cool. And we're looking at the door.
Wow.
I hate that fucking machine. I don't know how you guys who sleep with that machine can sleep with that noise. It would drive me nuts.
Dude, like, this woman, all she does is complain. It is literally all she does. It is wild. And not only does she constantly complain, like, she's wrong about everything. Look at him. He looks all confused and shit. Like, huh? I'm too crazy to be here, Your Honor. I'm a whackity-doo. Yeah, I remember that. Like, she was a smaller channel, and I was trying to promote her because she was Free Karen Reed at the very beginning, and then some shit happened between her and Aiden, and then I don't know what the fuck happened, and then she went full on fucking TDS.
Wowza. Enough with the fucking
She went full
noise
TDS.
machine, dude. Can we actually hear the damn hearing?
No,
Can you
because
give
the
me two sidebars on this one
because
too?
the hearing hasn't started yet.
Salad
you
bar?
fucking dolt. It hasn't started yet, dummy.
Play the sidebar.
So they don't have hot mics running. Did she rip off my shit? Like, she totally ripped me off. I love it. She's like my own personal producer. I love it.
Nope, still sidebar. Still fucking sidebar.
She's like my own little personal producer. I didn't even have to do that.
I did beat you to it. Ooh, what you getting, Benny? Come on, man. Long ass fucking sidebars. Can we get a hearing here? Can we get a hearing? That is true, Sam. That is very true. Very, very true, my friend. my God, you guys remember this?
So you're not talking, so you can move. I mean, I just got here, man. I just got into town. I'll keep it moving. Yeah, can you tell me what's going on? Yeah. Yeah. So you got a buffer zone, right? So that's it. What was that? I don't.
Just keep it.
The cop told the guy to keep it moving. He's like, I just got here, even though he'd been there for like 2 days and had no fucking idea. The cops knew he had been there, and they were like, yeah, no, keep it moving there, bud. Phone went down. I think it played for like another 2 hours or something like that. Literally.
You know what really pisses these people off when I stream them? Like, you know what really makes them mad? Is when I get more views and more support than they do when I'm streaming them. It's that really, 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 really gets their fucking guard. It just gets them, dude. It's the best part.
Yep. That's right. Oh, cool. They have to hit subscribe and then wait 3 minutes to comment. So good luck to them. That's pretty fucking pathetic if you ask me.
All right. So welcome, as I said, to council, and welcome to Mr. Walsh. I have a few things on my agenda. The first one, which is why we're here, is the competence. I've now received report from Bridgewater State Hospital Comprehensive.
Yeah, for sure, Tracy Cooley. I agree.
Dr. Ryan, in that report, Dr. Ryan concludes that the defendant is competent.
Called it.
Ready to stand trial. And with that finding, which I accept, had a brief conversation with the side of the bench. What's the defense's position? I just want it on the record, on the public record, with regard to the defendant's competency.
Yeah, I'm not telling anybody to go over there or do anything, you know. I'm just streaming her because I can. But I don't give a fuck what y'all do. I mean, give her a like. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, hell yeah.
I can't hear shit either.
As with any case, and any time, in my experience, the defendant goes to Bridgewater and then is returned to the facility, there's always a transition period. He's been there for 40 days now and has gotten, as I understand.
Oh, thank you. It's correct.
And that routine is going to be changed.
The judge is correct. Thank you.
Going to get moved back.
So understandably, there will be some transition period, and you alerting the facility knows this. They deal with this quite regularly. But I understand your intent to alert me to it. And we'll have some time here, I believe, between the time that we're picking a jury in this case and the time. I'm not suggesting that you're not working at that time, but the defendant's role in that is significantly different than it is when we're actually actively engaged in the trial. So hopefully that'll give them a nice time to settle back into the House of Correction. But obviously, if at any point you become concerned about that, I know you won't
get settled into the House of Correction, sir.
All
Get
right.
settled in.
So, let me, and I discussed this with you at this side of the bench as well. I received some edits from the defense to the questionnaire, which I will incorporate into the next version of the draft questionnaire. It's always a draft until the minute that I finalize it and send it to that pool of jurors. Speaking of that pool of jurors, somewhere on my desk.
Somewhere. Get
have
your
the
shit together,
updated
Judge.
numbers.
Well, you're pretty sad and pathetic, you poor thing.
Who knows what the yield will be, but I expect to take about 70, if I can, 60 to 70 jurors a day. In my experience, it's hard with the questionnaires.
Thanks, Dave
and
Cakes.
without
You're
doing all
right.
the copying.
I'm going to work on
Get
that.
through more than that number in a day, and there are other cases that are starting.
Correct. There are other cases that are starting, Your Honor.
And so if we can accommodate those, we will. We'll have to see what the draw is. The expected number.
Correct.
is
We'll have to
105
see.
now for
105,
Monday,
correct.
And we're going to hold those over to Tuesday because, as you know, we're doing the final trial conference on Monday, and then we'll
Monday,
start the
correct.
impanelment on
Yes.
Tuesday. So it looks like 105, 126, 121, 68 on Thursday, but those people will be pushed and held over till Friday.
Till Friday,
Have
correct.
A full group of some number of people to work with in getting a jury next week.
Right.
And then
Right,
the
right,
jurors
right.
are here also on Monday and Tuesday of the following week. And I think we're the only game in town. That is, I don't
Correct.
think anybody else is.
The only game in town, correct.
Monday and Tuesday. Our intent is, if we get a jury during that allotted time, we will start the trial, the substance of the trial, on 12/1, the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Correct. The Monday after
Everybody on board with
Thanksgiving,
that.
because Monday follows Thanksgiving, since Thanksgiving is on a Thursday. Correct, Judge.
Let me next address, and then once I do this, I'll certainly turn it over to you. We're going to have our formal, really today's purpose was to address the competency.
Correct.
But to
The
extent that I
competency,
could
correct.
take
And like I
off,
said, you'd be
issues
found
that
competent.
aren't technically
Like she
motions
said.
in limine, but other important motions to the parties, I focus
Correct.
on those today. And I am prepared now to make a ruling on the change of venue paper. That's paper number 219. I'm gonna
Correct.
read
It is
that
not
into the
plastic,
record
it is
now.
paper. Correct.
Mr. Walsh has moved for a change of venue on the grounds.
Correct.
of
His name is Mr.
extensive
Walsh.
and
Correct.
prejudicial pretrial publicity that he asserts has tainted the jury pool so as to deprive him of his right to a fair trial by impartial jury. Alternatively, the defendant seeks an order that prospective jurors be selected from outside of Norfolk County.
Correct.
In support of his motion, the defendant has submitted evidence of extensive national and local media coverage of the case, beginning on January 6,
Thanks to Karen Reed.
2023, after Anna Walsh was reported missing, and continuing till the present day, as well as evidence of social media engagement with this case. After careful consideration of the defendant's motion and the exhibits provided to the court, I'm denying the motion and the request
Correct.
for alternate relief for the following reasons.
Interesting.
Court may order a change of
Interesting.
venue where there exists, quote,
This is interesting.
exists
She's
in the
denying the
community
change of
where there
motion.
is a
That's
prosecution
interesting.
pending so great a prejudice against the defendant that he may not there obtain a fair and impartial trial.
The change of venue has been
That,
denied.
Cites back to Massachusetts Code of
Interesting.
Criminal Procedure 37 and Commonwealth versus Clark 432 Mass 1 at 6, a 2000 case. A judge has substantial discretion to transfer a case to another county based on pretrial publicity.
Correct.
And according to Commonwealth versus Gaynor, 443 Mass at 245 at 259, pretrial publicity, even
Interesting.
even pervasive adverse publicity does not inevitably lead to
Correcting
an unfair
yourself.
trial.
Correct.
A change in the place of a trial should be ordered with caution and only after the defendant has established, based on a, quote, solid foundation of fact, that the pretrial publicity has created presumptive prejudice. And to that I cite to Commonwealth versus Hart.
Commonwealth
493
versus
Mass,
Hart. Correct.
130 at 140.
Not Commonwealth versus Liver. Commonwealth versus Hart and
460
Tulin.
Mass.
Correct.
At 452, at pinpoint site 462, 463, a 2011 case.
2011 case.
Presumptive
Interesting.
prejudice exists only in truly extraordinary circumstances where the trial atmosphere is
Interesting.
utterly corrupted by media coverage. And, quote, the entire venire may be presumed prejudiced, regardless of specific voir dire procedures utilized. This standard is only met if the publicity is both extensive and sensational. And to that I cite to Commonwealth versus Who's.
Correct.
467 Mass 395, 406, a 2014 case.
Interesting.
In assessing whether pretrial publicity precludes a fair trial, the court should consider additional factors such as, quote, the size of the community,
The size
length
of the
time
community,
between
right?
the peak media
Correct.
coverage and the date of the
That
trial,
county is huge.
and whether the news stories contained a confession
Correct.
or
It is
smoking
huge.
gun,
Correct.
rather than merely being unkind portrayals of the defendant, end quote. Commonwealth versus Garhut-Strider, 82 Mass Appellate Court 500-506, a 2012 case. The defendant here contends that transfer of his case out of Norfolk County for trial is necessary because the nature and extent of the negative pretrial publicity his case has received has encouraged a bias and prejudice against him in this county.
No, the evidence has.
Having reviewed
but,
the numerous
okay.
materials submitted in support of the defendant's motion, I conclude that presumptive prejudice has not been shown. Although the media coverage has been extensive and somewhat graphic due to the nature of the crimes charged, it has also been primarily factual, describing the events in question, the charges against the defendant, court proceedings in this case, and the defendant's criminal history.
Correct.
Quote, fact-based publicity, even that which contains references to charges pending against the defendant or a prior criminal record, is not the sort of sensational publicity that would give rise to a presumption of prejudice, end quote. And that's Who's at 467 Mass at 407.
Correct.
The publicity in this case peaked in January 2023 when the defendant was charged in connection with the victim's murder, and has decreased in frequency over time, undermining a presumption of prejudice. Again, Who's at 406 and Tulin at 460 Mass at 465.
Interesting.
Notably, nothing in the defendant's submission addresses whether the pretrial publicity has been more extensive in Norfolk County or the likely number of potential jurors who were actually exposed to the media coverage. Moreover, other factors weigh against a finding of presumptive prejudice.
Interesting.
The trial is scheduled to take place nearly 3 years after Anna Walshe was presumed dead, and therefore there has been a substantial amount of time between the initial media coverage and the selection of the jury. Indeed,
Interesting.
much more of the recent media coverage is focused on court decisions leading up to trial and the status of the case.
Correct.
Further, the defendant has not shown that there has been any report of a confession by him or any like evidence.
Correct.
See Gerhut-Strider, 82 Mass App Court at 506. And unlike other cases where the small size of the community weighed in favor of a finding of presumptive prejudice, for example, in Nantucket County, given the size of Norfolk County, the defendant has not shown a high likelihood that the entire jury pool would be tainted by the pretrial coverage of this case.
That county's huge.
To Commonwealth versus Leahy, 445 Mass, 41 at 493, 494, a 2005 case. Defendant's motion relies heavily on evidence of negative social media posts presuming his guilt. There is, however, no indication that any of the posts were made by or read by Norfolk County residents, and thus they do not present a compelling reason to transfer.
I'm not a Norfolk County resident, and I'm saying this motherfucker's guilty as fuck.
While the defendant has demonstrated that the national and local media have extensively covered his case, he has not demonstrated the, quote, type of emotionally charged, inflammatory, sensationalistic coverage needed to support a presumption of prejudice. end quote. United States versus Angulo.
Interesting.
897 F. Second, 1169, 1181, a First Circuit case from 1990. Nor has he shown that there exists in this community a prejudice so great that he cannot obtain a fair trial in Norfolk County. Thus, I will not now order a change of venue. Alternately, the defendant has requested that prospective jurors be seated from outside of Norfolk County and transported to Norfolk County Superior Court for trial.
Interesting.
Quote, such an order ought not be given lightly. Commonwealth versus Aldopoulos at 390 Mass. 438, 448, 1983.
Correct.
The defendant must, quote unquote, fully establish the reason why a foreign jury is, quote, necessary to further the administration of justice. The defendant's motion falls short here. The defendant has not specified in his motion why he cannot obtain a fair trial with jurors from Norfolk County. He has not, for instance, shown that the media or social media coverage has been more widely viewed by prospective Norfolk County jurors
Interesting.
as opposed to residents of other counties. That engagement with social media postings about his case has been higher by residents in this county, or particularized his evidentiary support to the residents of Norfolk County in any way. Merely explaining the widespread coverage of this case in the greater Boston area and providing examples of negative social media posts from unknown users.
I should be taking
is
notes
insufficient to
like
establish the
Elise here.
necessity of a foreign
I should be
jury.
taking notes.
Any concerns as to the impartiality of prospective jurors from this county
Because this
due
is
to pretrial
interesting.
publicity will be addressed by this court with careful and thorough voir dire and is always subject to reconsideration by this court. Accordingly, the defendant's motion for a change of venue or alternate relief is denied without prejudice. The defendant may renew his motion, and the court won't hesitate to re-examine its own decision should the impanelment of an impartial jury prove impossible as a result of community prejudice.
Interesting.
So there's one other matter that I want to address with the lawyers, and that will take place at the side of the bench. But before I do that,
Sidebar.
are there other matters that it's important for the parties to raise today, recognizing that we are going to have the final trial conference on Monday? Bless you.
One quick one, the defendant's bedhead, Your Honor.
Had a hearing on 12/9. I didn't know if the court was going to break for that at 2 o'clock.
Oh,
I was going to ask this sidebar to talk about that briefly.
all right.
I apologize. That's good.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Anything from the defense other than what we're going to discuss at the side of the bench?
No, and the only other thing is I just want the record to reflect that we object to the court's ruling and we're
Certainly will. I understand. All right, I'll see you.
Interesting. They object to the court's ruling against their motion. Interesting.
Another sidebar, which I'm guessing is going to last a few minutes.
Oh.
I think there's an echo in here, guys.
Because I think
there's an echo.
There is an echo in here, guys. There's an echo.
Maybe the glare wants to play patty cake.
Maybe the glare wants to play patty
cake. Well,
I do.
I mean, since you're an echo and all.
Since you're an echo and all. Because sidebars never take a few minutes. But I'm guessing, with my vast education, that this sidebar is going to take a few minutes. Just so you know. How many minutes? A few. Correct. I did play back. I totally played back. If you could win at Patty Cake, I won. What are you talking about? Interesting. What are you talking about? She didn't even get in.
We got a super cat.
Bro, I love that she shows that. I love that she shows that, trying to troll.
That's for that donation that just came in.
Trying to troll Dina and them. Like, Dina is...
And also, because
Dina's on a plane to Florida right now. And this lady's probably never even been on a fucking public bus because she can't afford it.
StreamYard has a bunch of like random songs, you know, licensed random beats. They even have a gong now, guys. I give you the echo, the glarer.
Yes, the echo, the glarer. Fuck yeah. Hold on. Automobile. What's happening, hot stuff?
Hold on. Getting interesting information. Give me a second.
What's happening, hot stuff? Automobile. It does actually. It absolutely does.
My fucking sound machine would drive me bananas. I don't know how some of you sleep with that thing on.
Long Duck Dawn.
Ooh, it works. The American flag. America, bitches.
I hate calming noises. I hate things that make me calm. I don't know how you guys indulge in things that are relaxing. Ugh. So you're a miserable cunt. Correct.
I have something I'm going to share with you guys, but I got to get it to my email first.
Correct.
Always is, Maestro. Always is, my friend. X is a fucking cesspool. So I just check my messages.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Not worth it. It's just a bunch of people accusing a bunch of people of a bunch of random shit that never happened. I pay no mind to any of it.
They're out there. They're out there.
It's always best
I'm
to
just
use your
saying.
own mind and think for yourself, no matter what. People learn the hard way. That's on them. They can't say we didn't tell them, or we didn't warn them. That's on them, no one else.
Interesting.
All right, let me see if I can get this up from the email.
Correct. I love you too, Loopy, forever.
All right.
Yeah, let me go a little behind here.
All right.
I bet she's using shoddy Wi-Fi. It's taking forever. She's
So, looks like what we have here is a text message between Meredith and the sewer turtle.
oh my god, a text message.
Fucking shoot. Fucking shoot.
Trying to wait for this hearing to be over so I can put it on the screen because I have this on the screen right now.
She's trying to wait
I mean,
for
I guess
the
I could
hearing
read
to
it
be
and
over.
then
Isn't this
when
what you're
this-
here
sorry,
for?
I'm gonna read it to you when this is over.
You think she might try
Show
a
it on the
crusty move to
screen.
bomb
So-
stream? No, she won't.
The text message starts with Meredith, I think, talking to Aiden, and she says,
Oh my god, dude. Like, how hard is it to like? I think she's almost got it, y'all.
okay.
Almost.
So it says,
There we go. She got it.
if she's convinced you recorded her, then she's not going to believe you. But it's worth one more try denying it. Doesn't sound like she's bluffing, though, to be honest. This is a little softer because if she's already definitely not doing the documentary, you need to de-escalate this now. The threat of telling people you recorded her is not good. Best case, it's a terrible look because you've done it before. Worst case, she actually tries to pursue legal action. You don't want it getting ugly like that. In response to that, Aiden sent her a screenshot of what he said to Karen. And this is what he said. Karen, I didn't record you. I don't know who you're talking to or who's telling you this, but you're dead wrong. I was in the car when you called. I have one phone.
No,
There was
this is the
possible way
best
for
shit
me
in
to
the world.
record you, which, I mean, he has two
This
phones, so that's...
This is the best shit in the world because like nobody gives a fuck about this anymore. Like nobody does. This is a big bombshell here. Like I love this shit.
Fourth-hand story you're getting is baseless. I'm guilty of venting to people about our conversation. You vented about me to others too. I'm also on bail. I've always had your back with this story and always will. I have a plethora of felony charges I'm still facing, which only exist because I aggressively expose the people who framed you for murder. I still think you should do the doc with us because you're going to get paid for it and you can say whatever you want. The doc is going to happen regardless. It's in your best interest and mine to work together. I wouldn't throw it away over a lie. And then it says, you've been told by drama hungry, and then it cuts off, so I'm guessing the rest of it is drama hungry people, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is, well, this denial obviously means nothing because there's a recording, right?
What recording?
Unfortunately, it did happen. And Jesus, today's the day for just.
I'm dying for her.
I'm
dying for her to make a point here as to why any of this is relevant at all to anything. Like why this is some big bombshell. Like she just fucking spent 20 minutes trying to send this to herself to make
I know.
what point?
I know. Well, the breaking news, when it does come, which again, I can't tell you when. I can just tell you to keep an eye on the news. That's all I can
So
tell you.
no breaking news then. Got it. Correct.
But we know that this obviously was a lie, right?
Do
that
we?
He did record her. I'm just trying to figure out in my head why it just doesn't make sense to me why so many people attempt to help. Like, he did this thing that's not, you know what I mean? Well, she never, so as far as I understand, she didn't hear them until they had lunch that day. And then he played them for her, but didn't send them to her. So she never had possession of the recordings. She just heard it.
Thank you, Felicia.
That's my understanding of it. But you denied it, right? And then you denied it to Karen, and then you denied it to the world. And so it's like he's going to extreme lengths to lie about it, but why? If there was some intent that was, I was just mad, wouldn't be such a big deal, right? Wouldn't be something you needed to hide. The only reason it would be something you need to hide is if you did it with a bad intention, right? And what happens if she does go for charges? What then? If she chooses to pursue charges, which plenty of time to do, then what? What happens then?
Yeah, what happens then?
Who knows?
Nothing.
You know?
Nothing. That's what happens.
Interesting. One of those days.
Nothing
guys.
that you just said was interesting. Absolutely nothing you just said was interesting.
It's going to be an interesting freaking day.
I'm making it interesting, but nothing that you said was interesting.
What I don't get, I mean, she probably won't. Right? That would be my guess, is that she...
Let's go down the list of what you don't get. Respect, the love of a man and touch, respect of your own children, a steady income. I could go on and on.
I think the only thing standing in the way of that is conspiracy to commit witness intimidation, possible charges. So,
custody.
I mean, in my opinion, that would be the only reason that you probably wouldn't, is because it would help that investigation, right? That would be sort of incriminating yourself, and it's not smart to incriminate yourself. So I think that's the only reason why. But if her lawyers got some sort of confirmation that that wasn't going to happen, what if she did choose to go forth with criminal charges on it? What happens then? I mean, any new criminal charge revokes your bail. Breaking a civil order turns into a criminal issue, and even interstate, that can revoke your bail. So, I mean,
I love
playing with fire.
She's so explaining the law right now.
You're playing with fire at that point.
Get the fuck out of here.
I have not been on Twitter today at all, so I have no idea what you're talking
Donkey's
about.
noggin, as much as I appreciate the dono, bro, as much as I appreciate it, this is not a channel where we spread misinformation, sir. Okay? We don't do that here. Okay? We don't lie here.
Sure, there's a bunch of crap there. But that's the thing, right? I mean, at least Meredith was right in some of that, where she's like, worst case scenario, best case scenario. Like, admitting that you wiretapped her, probably not a good idea, but at the same time, denying it wasn't a good idea either, if that recording was then going to be put out there. But who? Who, I ask, sent the recording and clips to certain people? Who? Like a fucking owl, who?
Interesting.
You know? I say, ask yourself, who would have the most to gain or benefit from that happening?
That's a great question. Like, how retarded are you? Who would gain from that happening? Because you're accusing Aiden. How does Aiden gain from that happening? Explain that. Explain how Aiden gains from recording Karen and then releasing it. How? In what way? In what manner? So you're asking a great question. Who would benefit? But you're dying to pin it on Aiden, and you're like, you can't, because Aiden doesn't benefit.
I mean, why would you be taking low blow shots about someone's loved one that passed away?
What?
If it didn't bother you that much, right? Taking shots at someone's loved one who passed away, that's beyond gross. It's beyond gross.
What does that have to
Everyone
do with-
has lost someone, I'm sure.
Right.
Multiple people. At least in my generation, right? Nobody should be okay.
Everyone's lost someone or multiple people, at least in my generation, because only in her generation do people die. Okay? Hasn't been happening since the beginning of time, since the beginning of humanity generally. That's never been a thing until her generation. People die in her generation. Correct.
On what you will and what you won't do. Jesus, this is the longest fucking sidebar on planet Earth.
So Madam Clerk reminds me we're on for 9 a.m. on Monday.
Big nothing burger.
Between now and then you get it to
9 a.m. Monday.
Otherwise, I look forward to
Big nothing burger.
Thank you very much.
That's it. Not a ruling, just the denial on change of venue. That's it.
He does not look happy.
Jack shit. What do you mean? He's
I
thrilled.
told you guys he was going to be found competent. In all the time I worked there,
You didn't find him competent.
I think there was one person that was found not competent to stand trial, and then it was just a few months later that they were
Does
found
she have any
competent.
idea
It
what just
almost
happened
never
here?
happens. It almost never happens.
Okay, just so
It's
I
very-
don't feel stupid or look stupid here. Did she find him competent to stand trial, or did she just reschedule another hearing on Monday at 9 a.m.? Like, as far as I know, they went on sidebar and then just rescheduled a new hearing. That's what it sounded like to me. Jen Dalgaus, thank you so much. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting.
So that means it was one of a very few people, right? Very few people that knew it existed, knew it was recorded, heard it, or had it, right? And that's a small, very short list of other people who could have possibly sent it around in clips. Because the full length of it is worse. So So here's the thing: the clips that were sent out to me show that the person clipped it specifically so that the worst of the worst was out of it, right? That might have been a little. The pieces that they sent out were like shitty, but not so shitty to sort of overshadow what was said, right? And so they deliberately clipped out certain parts of it and sent those out for public consumption.
Public consumption.
So that leaves about 4 or 5 people, maybe 6 total, that besides Aiden,
I love the analysis.
who would have benefited from it.
Who would have benefited from this
Or
recording?
Maybe there's a coup happening.
A coup.
I mean, we know he has threatened
Coup
people,
d'etat.
so I mean, maybe one of those people weren't so happy they were being threatened and said, you know what? Go fuck yourself. I don't know.
These
Some people
theories are
speculate it was
top
him
notch,
himself, but
by the way.
I don't think it was him himself that did that, because then that would prove that it existed and that he did it. So I know that he probably is not the one that would have put it out there. That leaves a very short list of other people who would have put it out there.
Who are?
You know what I mean? Let me see.
A coup. A coup. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. There's about 4 or 5 people, or
I think
6 people.
She deactivated, as far as I understand.
In Aiden's inner circle. Okay, there's about 6 people in Aiden's inner circle, and they're all plotting behind Aiden's back to overthrow him because he's the emperor. A coup. There's a big coup happening. It's brewing. Dude, these people are insane. These people are absolutely fucking insane. There's a coup happening. We're going to overthrow the turtle. This shit is amazing. I love it. That's what's going on. You got your people right there in Aiden's inner circle who's just plotting and planning, and you know, they're gonna overthrow Caesar. There's a whole Shakespearean thing going on in a fucking Facebook group right now. in a Facebook Messenger thread right now. In a group thread, there's a whole Shakespearean fucking This woman is insane, bro. Absolutely fucking insane. Oh, I got to hear more. I need more.
So this is the text that I just read to you guys. Just so you guys can see it. Oh, sorry, I was confused. Yeah, Meredith deactivated, as far as I understand. But that was a few days ago, so I don't know, you know, what would have happened since then, if she reactivated or not. I don't know. But I mean, how many?
Oh, yikes. Yeah, I mean, here, she'll come back in a second. Give it another try. Dial it up one more time. Twisted.
Hold on a second, guys.
We'll wait.
Yeah, so this is the text.
Okay,
I just
here we
wanted to
go.
throw it up there for you guys.
She got it.
We're
good.
Yeah, I wasn't on X yesterday. I don't blame you guys, right? I've actually heard a lot of people say that. Right, Maestro? I get it. And I don't blame you, Holly. You know, I mean, I feel like life is lighter when you just don't care. You know what I mean? When you just don't give a shit what random people who don't know you say, then life is a lot fucking lighter. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit what these people have to say. They don't know me. They've never met me a day in their lives. And ultimately, when they're lied about and shit happens, they can't say nobody didn't warn them. It's really that simple. And it's not an if, that's a when. Hey, Pepper.
Hi, Pepper.
It is, right? Nonetheless, this is the text I was reading to you guys. I just wanted to put it up on the screen for you guys so you could see it, you know, receipts and all. But I mean, hey, at least Meredith was right in some of that, right? Worst case and less case scenario. At the same time, Aiden flat out sends that text message to Karen and denies wiretapping her, which we know is a lie. So, I mean, hey. It is. It's almost like a sport, and it's fucking weird. It's weird. I don't understand it. Never made sense to me. You know, I only have something to say about someone when I am defending myself, and 9 out of 10 times, I honestly just ignore most of the shit because it's not worth it. You know?
She's above it all, y'all. She's
Oh, is that what happened,
high
Maestro?
road.
Is that why this ended up out?
High road tragedy.
So Maestro said in a convo with Meredith about Karen knowing he is sharing their communications, he again posts a screenshot of their communications. Then Meredith screenshots this and sends it out. Oh boy. The fuckery is next level. Absolutely. Absolutely 100%. You are right about that, my friend. You are right. I'm just like, is this real life? Sometimes it feels like we're in an alternate universe, right? And here's the saddest part. If you guys even knew the people that have behind the scenes privately apologize to me and talk periodically to me, you would be like, wow, you know, because
wow,
behind closed doors, there's a lot of people that are not down with said fuckery. They're not. And they just don't say anything publicly.
If they weren't down with said fuckery, they wouldn't be churning up bullshit behind the scenes, DMing the likes of you.
Civil conversations with people actually bring people to some common ground, even if they have things that they don't agree on, right? And the people that I have found common ground with, we may not agree when it comes to Karen Reed's case, but we agree on a lot of other things, right? A lot of everyday things. And even your friends and loved ones, I'm sure you don't agree with them on everything, right? I'm sure you don't agree with them on all of their political or every case you've ever heard of. You know, you're going to disagree. The weird part about all of it is that it's become some sort of normal thing to trash people for no real reason other than the sewer turtle said so, apparently. Or because you corrected a lie that he told. And it's like, well, when he starts telling them about you, who do you think you'll be looking to help you? Someone. Might not be me, but it's going to be someone. And you're going to be like, well, that's a fucking lie. Well, no shit, Sherlock. But you know what I mean? We tried to warn you. And I find it funny because all of the same people that engage in that kind of behavior, in order to engage in that kind of behavior all the time like that, you have to be very insecure with yourself, very bothered as a person, right? It's Psych 101. It says more about you than it does the people that you're continuing to insult or make fun of or harass.
Correct.
It says more about you than it does them.
Correct.
You know, the people who are unbothered like me, who are just like, you can say whatever the fuck you want. The people who know me, know what kind of person that I am. And it's funny because many of those people now include a lot of people who are or were free Karen Reed people, right?
People, not animals.
And some of
People.
you would be shocked
Correct.
to realize how many of these people have apologized to me personally. It's unfortunate because it's missed sort of connections, missed friendships, missed
tragic,
civil conversations.
Wait a minute. Twistedly
things
tragic.
Change and
Whoa.
things happen when people come together from opposing sides, right? When they come together to sort of figure things out or change things, that's when change happens. It doesn't happen by sitting there and doing somebody else's dirty work constantly just because you blindly believe.
Make him
stop. And the people who blindly have believed people thus far, well, my inbox speaks for itself, right? Didn't work out so well in that direction, did it? You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. And it's really sad. Ooh, send it to me, Holly. I'd love to have it.
It's so sad.
It's
heartbreaking.
It's unfortunate. And it is sad.
It's heartbreaking.
So if you guys want to check it out yourself, this, and you are on X, Chris.
X is a cesspool, though.
Had it, and I think Kate posted it.
Stay off X, it's a cesspool. But if you want to check this out, go on X. Check it out.
You can go and look at it there as well. I'm going to take it off the screen now, but you can look at it there as well if you want. But I just wanted to pop it up there and not just read it. It's unfortunate because there's a lot of people that sort of realized in all of this that, like, hey, hold on, something is not right and something doesn't feel right, right? Their gut was like, hold on, I don't like this. This is not making me feel like good, And so they decided, hold on a second, I'm going to go back and look at my own actions and the things that I have said, right? Because everything doesn't have to be shared on air. And I feel like that's the point. A lot of you I speak to daily, including Wallflower. Like, I speak to a lot of people daily, right?
No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, she was threatened too. So, I mean, what way to defend yourself other than to show the lie is happening? I get it. At the same time, she's also had her hands in a lot of really shady, fucked up shit too.
Oh.
I appreciate you, Wallflower. I appreciate you. But that's the thing. If you're looking for that admiration from a bunch of people you don't know, you don't need it. Right? Yes, perfect, Holly. We do. I will see what I can do about that. If you can point me in the right direction, I'm sure I can have somebody pick it up for me. Hey, Sarah. No worries, my friend. That is okay. It's unfortunate, it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
There are a lot of people that I feel like might have been friends or might have had common ground on other things and could have supported each other or helped each other in other endeavors to help the community in which they live or surrounding communities in which they live, to do, long-term work to change how our legal system works or victims' rights or even small things, right? And instead, because of a man online, they trashed each other into oblivion.
Man online. Because of a man online.
The fun part about it is people figured it out.
The man online.
People figured it out. Lots of people figured it out. And people are still figuring it out. And they're starting to realize like that's not what they're about.
Y'all
That's
in
not
the
what they
chat are
want.
amazing.
They don't want to be these people that are just trashing people they don't know. And that every person on planet Earth has a goddamn skeleton in their closet or something that they're not proud of that they've said or done. Everyone, and I don't care who you are, everyone has something they're not proud of. Something they've said or done. I mean, we were all young once, right? We were all young once. We definitely have all made mistakes in life.
The wisdom
Does
is
that
just
make you some sort of boogeyman now?
overwhelming here.
I don't think so. I do not think so. You know? And that's, I think, part of why people started figuring out that they could actually speak to one another, right? They didn't need permission from a sewer turtle. They didn't need permission from the sewer squad. They could just reach out on their own.
Wow.
And they did. They did reach out on their own, and they did talk to each other, right? It's sad because there's a lot of shit happening behind closed doors. A lot of shit that's always being talked. And some of the people who are the most stark defenders of the sewer turtle have no idea how much shit he talks about them. None. But they will eventually, right? Like Jess just said, hurt people will hurt people. It's bound to happen.
She tried to download her dinner off an AI app called ChatEBT. People, I've had enough. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. We've been on for 3.5 hours. As far as I know, yeah, this was the whole Brian Walshe thing was a big fucking nothing burger. Nothing happened. Dude's gonna stand trial, I'm sure. I don't think she even decided, but I could have missed it. I zoned out there for a second. But anyways, I'm glad we still had fun. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll do a late night live tonight. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Not sure. It's Friday, you know. See what's happening. We'll see what the vibe is. But yeah, no clubber walk this morning. Sorry about that. Because I was here doing this. But yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the support. Make sure to hit the like for me, or don't. I don't really give a shit about this stream. This is just a hangout during the day kind of stream. I was gonna watch the hearing, and I figured why not stream it, so that's why I did. And then Dave from Making Law Simple was like, "You should stream Twisted Tragedy streaming," and I was like, "Yes, I should absolutely do that, Dave." And big win for Dave coming up with the idea of the day. And make sure to subscribe to Making Law Simple, of course. Make sure to subscribe to MC Kasi G. His channel's coming up. Make sure to subscribe to Ray from Dallas. He should be back going live pretty soon. Follow Ray from Dallas on Twitter. If you guys are missing his live streams on YouTube, follow him on Twitter. He's been doing live streams on Twitter, on X. So check him out there. And last night was really funny. Like I caught the end of the Pats and Jets game, and jumped in Turtle Boy's chat, and Ray from Dallas had called in there, and it was great. It was a fucking fantastic phone call. And Aiden had streamed Aiden had streamed the 6th Stream channel there for a second, and danced along with them because they were, you know, dancing on that channel for a change. Anyway, so guys, you're the best. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Had a good time. Always have a good time with you guys. Thanks for all the support. Remember, it only takes a second to stay safe. I love you very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.
Watch out!
Today, being retarded means leading a full life. Retarded people go to work or school just like their neighbors and come back to a real home, a supervised home, right in the neighborhood, where they belong. Being retarded never stopped anyone from being a good neighbor.